Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you for the inaugural function of National Level Interdisciplinary 5 Days Faculty Development Program organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell and the Department of Home Economics of Stri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal's Mahila Mahavidyalay in collaboration with Gondia Education Society's SN More College of Arts and Commerce and Srimati G.D. Sarab Science College, Tumsar. I am Dr. Sampada Naseri with my colleagues Dr. Bharti Katekhaye and Dr. Kshama Chauhan and Sunita Rathod of Home Economics Department, and along with the IQSC coordinators of both the colleges, Dr. Anil Dodewar and Dr. Radhesham Dipte sir. I welcome you all on the behalf of IQSC and both the colleges. It is my privilege to welcome all the dignitaries of this inauguration program. Friends, it is my pleasure to welcome our own Dr. Shashikala Vanjari ma'am, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Srimati Nathibai Damodar Thakursi Women's University, popularly known as SNGT Women's University Mumbai, as a chief guest for the inaugural session of this program. I welcome you, ma'am, on the behalf of both the colleges. Our warm welcome to Dr. Leena Gahaneji, Deputy Advisor, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, that is NAC, as a keynote addressee of this inaugural program. I welcome you, ma'am, on the behalf of both the colleges. I also welcome Dr. Sanjay Dudhe, sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellors of Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, as a guest of honor for this inaugural program. Today's special guest for this inauguration is Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav Madam, Dean of Interdisciplinary Studies, Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. I welcome you, ma'am, uh, on the behalf of both the colleges. I welcome you all for inauguration of this program. Today we have with us President of Sri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal and President of today's inauguration function, Honorable Shri Ravindra Fadnavis sir. I welcome respected Principal of Mahila Mahavidyalay, Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, and respected Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram sir, Principal of SN More College of Arts and Commerce and GD Saraf Science College, Tumsar. I welcome all the faculty members of both the colleges, virtual participants registered for this National Interdisciplinary 5 Days Faculty Development Program. To proceed forward, I request Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, Principal of Mahila Mahavidyalay, for her introductory remarks. Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar.
Thank you, Madam. A very warm good morning to all present on this digital platform today. President of Sri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal and President of today's inaugural session, Honorable Shri Ravindra Fadnavis sir, Honorable Management Committee members of Gondia Education Society, Chief Guest of the inaugural session, Honorable Vice Chancellor, SNDT Women's University, Professor Shashikala Vanjari Madam, Guest of Honor, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur, Dr. Sanjay Dudhe sir, Keynote Speaker, Honorable Deputy Advisor, NAC, Dr. Leena Gahane Madam, Special Guest, Honorable Dean, Interdisciplinary Studies, RTM Nagpur University, Nagpur, Dr. Rajshri Vaishnav, Honorable Principal of Fellow Organizing College, Dr. Chetan Kumar Masra, Coordinators of Faculty Development Program, Dr. Sampada Naseri and Dr. Bharti Katekhaye, IQSC Coordinators of the Organizing Colleges, Dr. Anil Dodewar and Dr. Radhesham Dipte, teaching staff of the two colleges, and all the digital participants present today. At the outset, on behalf of the organizers, I welcome you all to Interdisciplinary National Level 5-Day Faculty Development Program on the topic Need of Innovation in Curriculum and Teaching Learning Process in Higher Education, organized jointly by SSPM's Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nagpur and GESS SN College of Arts and Commerce and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College, Tumsar. Today, we are facing a very challenging situation in terms of teaching learning process due to the pandemic. The schools and colleges are shut down for physical mode of teaching learning process. The students and teachers are compelled to adopt online mode of teaching and learning methodology. Informal and non-formal education is also tremendously affected. However, it is a well-established assumption that no pedagogical approach can replace the formal education of having teacher-taught direct interaction. But the aftermath of COVID-19 crisis, online education became a pedagogical shift from traditional method to the modern approach of teaching learning, from classroom to Zoom, from personal to virtual, and from seminars to webinars. Previously, e-learning, distance education, and correspondence courses were popularly considered as the part of non-formal education. But as of now, it seems that it would gradually replace the formal education system if the circumstances enduringly persist over the time. Also, recently, the Union Cabinet has approved the new educational policy 2020 with an aim to introduce several changes in the Indian education system right from school to college level. It also aims at making India a global knowledge superpower and to facilitate an inclusive, participatory, and holistic approach which takes into consideration field experiences, empirical research, stakeholder feedback, as well as lessons learned from best practices. It is a progressive shift towards a more scientific approach to education. Therefore, this is the time to gravely rethink, revamp, and redesign our curriculum in particular and education system in general. Bringing about improvement in teaching learning process is regarded as indispensable to achieve the desired goals and objective and enrich overall system of education. Major improvement can be brought about in teaching learning process through the implementation of innovative strategies. This can also make the entire teaching learning process more enjoyable and effective. Against this backdrop, we decided to organize this faculty development program in which experts will deal with various issues related to innovations in curriculum and teaching learning process, which is the need of the hour. I once again, on behalf of the two organizing colleges, welcome you all and wish success to this faculty development program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your introductory remarks. Now, I request Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram, Principal of SN College of Arts and Commerce and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College for his introductory remark. Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram. Masram, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sampada Nasiri madam. And very good morning to each one of you for today's faculty development program. Indeed, I am immensely proud and glad that Shri Shikshan Prashak Mandal Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nandanvan, Nagpur, NAC accredited with A grade, and our Gondia Education Societies, SN Arts and Commerce and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College, Tumsar, District Bandara, NAC accredited with B grade, are organizing jointly an interdisciplinary national level 1 week faculty development program. Nearly 5 days, especially on topic, which is the need of the day. That is, need of innovations in curriculum and teaching learning process in higher education from today, 15th March, up to 19th March 2021. First of all, I must welcome our honorable guest, Honorable Vice Chancellor of SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, Professor Shashikala Manjari Madam, as a chief guest. Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of RTMNU, Nagpur, Honorable Dr. Sanjay Dude, sir. The Deputy Advisor, NAC, Bangalore, respected Dr. Leena Kahani Madam, Dr. Rajashree Vaishnav, Dean, Interdisciplinary Studies, RTMNU, and especially the Honorable President of SSPM, Mr. Ravindra Fadnavis. And today also, one special guest will be deliberating his views in the afternoon, Dr. Vinayak Deshpande, sir, former Vice Chancellor, Prasashan Puroti Maharaj, Nagpur University. Thanks to Dr. Bharti Katekai, our Professor and Head Home Economics, and Dr. Sampada Nasri Madam for being very instrumental in organizing this faculty development program. I express my gratitude towards Honorable Management of Shri Shikshan Mandal Nagpur and Honorable Management of Gondia Educational Society, Gondia, especially our dynamic leader, Honorable Sri Praful Patel sir, for being blessing us, and Honorable Srimati Varsha Patel Madam, President, Gondia Educational Society, as well as Honorable Mrs. Meera Chapikar Madam, Secretary, Shri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Honorable Shri Rajendra Jain sir, Secretary, Gondia Educational Society, and a very dynamic young Director, Honorable Shri Nikhil Jain, Gondia Educational Society, Dr. Vandana Bhagadikar Madam, Principal Mahila Mahavidyalaya. I must thanks to all the dignitaries for blessing us to organize these 5 days from 15 to 19 March 2021 faculty development program. That too on such a large scale. I congratulate both the colleges for taking initiatives for such a venture. Staff of both the colleges work together round the clock, and we see dawn of such a golden day today. I welcome all resource persons who are going to share their valuable thoughts, insights, and experiences. I extend hearty welcome to all delegates who join this faculty development program from far off places. Since the day of independence of our great nation, our great thinkers have been striving hard to find education system which should nurture young generations as per the tenets of preamble delineated, rather described in the Constitution, who in turn would take our country to the great heights in all aspects. Newer education policies replace the earlier ones for overcoming lacuna, shortcomings in them, and to cater to the needs of the changing world and to face new challenges. The Ministry of Resource Development announced the new education policy with the aim to transform the Indian education system. It is holistic, flexible, and multidisciplinary and aligned to the needs of today's century, that is the 21st century, and the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. The present FDP will have deliberations over a number of topics associated with the contemporary society, its needs and problems. It will focus on ICT-based education, which has extraordinary importance amid looming danger of COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, and will throw light on issues pertaining to intellectual property rights and, most importantly, employability. There is a need for framing industry need-based curriculum, even from half of the total population. However, this gender is largely ignored and deprived of education and hence intellectually kept away from the progress and mainstream of society, despite many government schemes for women. The present FTP will ruminate over such many relevant issues close to the heart and mind of the present generation. I thank editorial board members of the peer-reviewed interdisciplinary e-journal UPA as they generously agreed to publish research papers in the valued journal. Many participants scripted their valuable views on the topic and contributed to the journal. Their reflections on the proposed topics are noteworthy and will provide directions for further thinking and policy framing. I am sure. Thanks, Scholar, for your overwhelming response and painstaking effort. I wish all best luck. I hope that there will be contemplations over many such current topics in this FTP, and the outcome will be immensely beneficial to all. I once again thank all teaching fraternity of both the colleges for realizing the dream of an faculty development program and expect fruitful discussions and discourse. I look forward to many such collaborations in programs together with Mahila College. Let's work together and progress together. Maintain social distancing. Be safe. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your introductory remarks. Dear all, now it's time to invite our chief guest. We all know we have today with us Dr. Shashikala Vanjari ma'am, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Srimati Nathibai Damodar Thakur C Women's University, that is SNDT Women's University, Mumbai. She is a very dynamic personality from the field of education, and we all know her connection with the Nagpur University and in the field of education, particularly in the Nagpur. So she's a very own guest in this faculty development program. So without taking more time, I invite Dr. Shashikala Vanjari ma'am, Honorable Vice Chancellor of SNDT University, for her inaugural address.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Honorable Dr. Sanjay Dubey, Pro-Vice Chancellor of RTMNU, respected Ravindra Fadnavis, who is the President of SSPM and he is chairing today's inaugural function. Keynote speaker and my friend Dr. Leena Dhanani, who is Deputy Advisor in that. Special guest Dr. Rajesh Vaishnav. She is Dean of Interdisciplinary Studies, RTMNU. Both the principals, Dr. Vandana Bhavrikar, Madam, Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram, sir. Both the coordinators, Dr. Sampada Nasiri, Dr. Bharti Katekai. Both the IQAC coordinators, Dr. Dorevar and Dr. Dikte. All the faculty members and my dear participants. At the beginning, I would like to extend warm and inclusive welcome to one and all. And at the same time, I am highly obliged to Dr. Vandana Bhavrikar and Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram sir for being invited me to inaugurate this faculty development program. Friends, I am highly delighted and it's an immense pleasure to inaugurate this faculty development program. And at the same time, I would like to share a few things with you on the occasion of this inaugural function. First thing, what I would like to emphasize is, you have crafted the theme as need of innovation in curriculum and teaching learning process in higher education. It is well crafted, well devised. Now see, when we remove the word innovation and only simply we read it need of curriculum or need to revise the curriculum and teaching learning process, it gives the different significance to the faculty members. But when we add innovation, it has some significant meaning. as all you know that I'm basically from teacher education domain, and it's my subject. So definitely I am very happy to share my few views about this faculty development program. So I would compliment Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar Madam and Dr. Chetan Kumar Basra and the entire team as well for organizing such a wonderful program. I know both the colleges, SN More College and Mahila Mahavidyalaya, but what I could say, see, I have witnessed the growth of Mahila Mahavidyalaya since long, because I was residing in the same area and I know Sapada, then Donald Madam and Vandana Madam and each one of them. So I witnessed the growth of the college, and it goes up by leaps and bounds. So very appreciating efforts taken by all the leading principals, and I am happy. Even SN More College, I am much far from the college, but I know SN More College. I'm in the leadership, or the leadership is of Chetan Kumar Basram, and I know the college is doing very well and it is going up. So both the principals are deserved to be congratulated. Hearty congratulations to both of you and your entire team. Now the theme is need of innovation in curriculum and teaching learning process in higher education. Now friends, we know that what is innovation. We are in the age of idea. We are in the age of industry 4.0 revolution. We are in the age of education 4. So what it tells much and much more about the innovation. Now this faculty development program will help you to make able to understand the basic difference between innovation and research. Now see, if we remove the word innovation, it has no meaning. The entire process already, I think Dr. Vandana Madam has highlighted that point. Due to this COVID and pandemic, we faced several challenges. One of the biggest challenge was of acquainting this online education. I still remember one of the articles was I read, and it was according to it was written by Bhumani Shankar, and he wrote in that article, this this online program will finish everything. What it will finish? It will reduce the organistic relationship between teacher and taught. And that was his observation, and it is very painful for us. We know that due to innovations, there are several platforms come up to conduct the classes. But what is going to happen to teaching learning process, that we know very well. We are making today, we are assembled virtually, but at the same time we lost the joy of seeing each one of us physically. There are pros and cons, but the particular term innovation brings so many things in the teaching learning process. Need of innovation in curriculum. Now first I would like to focus this curriculum or innovation in curriculums. Yes, there is a dire need to have innovation in curriculum. Already UGC has given guideline outcome based curriculum, and even NAC is asking for that. And yes, it is certainly desirable to have that outcome, and in order to achieve that goal of outcome, there is need to have innovation, because innovation is different from research. What does it mean? It is based on particular idea, and that idea gets converted into product, and that idea is something new, something different from other, and that's why innovation is must. It's an urgent need of the hour. Now see, we know that even I am happy to share with you, SNDT has got Innovation Society Incubation Center for Women, and it's the first kind of center that we received from Maharashtra government on 8th of March. Now what is expected from the girls or from the students or faculties? So they have to incubate their idea. Not only incubating the idea is ultimate goal, but that should get converted into product, and that productivity is very important. And therefore, this innovation in curriculum and in teaching learning process is very important. If we do have innovation, now see, for example, we suddenly change the seating arrangement in the class, and definitely we are expecting something from that change of the seating arrangement. That comes under the innovation. When we use the lecture method, but instead of lecture method, we blend few things in the lecture method, that will come under the innovation. Now, like this, I know that Leena Dai is there, so she will highlight all these points. So it is very important to have innovation in all the aspects of higher education, not only in curriculum, not only in teaching learning process, but in entire education. We know that because of these ideas, because of these innovations, we know that Ranjit Desale, he has got the award for award at global level for his innovation. Now, if you know very well, you are well acquainted with the concept of innovation. It is totally different from research. It doesn't require much efforts, but it requires your original idea. Teacher should have some ideas. Unless and until he has that idea, he will not make his teaching more effective. We want to make them reflective teachers. That is our aim. Unless and until we have that kind of mindset amongst the teacher, we will not be able to bring a positive change, productive change in our teaching learning process. And therefore, my friends, Dr. Vandana Madam, Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram, and all the well-wishers of this faculty development program, this is very, very important to have such kind of programs. And Madam has mentioned that this is the national level interdisciplinary faculty development program. So because of coming together from different faculties, they will be able to illustrate different examples, and they will get the things as they wish. And therefore, I would compliment, I would greet, I would express my joy towards this faculty development program, because both the colleges have made efforts to bring into life the innovation in curriculum and teaching learning process in higher education. My wishes are with you, and in the last point, I would be glad to have some more things. Still, I remember the definition given by Rabindranath Tagore about education. Education is what? Education enables the mind to find out the ultimate truth, which gives us the wealth of inner light and love, and gives the significance to life. When someone comes with his or her own idea, she will get the joy to convert that idea into product, not in terms of the object. Product means not it will be in the in some shape, but in some kind of processes. For example, teaching learning, it's a process. So someone will come with his innovative idea, and definitely he will enjoy that sharing with her or his students. And here, what I would like to highlight, education enables the mind to find out the ultimate truth. Through our efforts, through our innovations, through our ideas, through our creativity, we will bring this light to the classes. We will bring light to the student community, and definitely that will help to ignite our soul, our insight, and many more things will happen because of this innovation. So friends, my best wishes are with you, and Dr. Vandana Madam and Dr. Masram sir, both of you are very deserving principals. So definitely my best wishes are with you, and I would again express my thanks to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for a very motivating and effective inaugural address. And I am very glad that you remember our college and mention it in your inaugural address, both the colleges. And so I think the good work always get reward in that manner. Today we have received award from such an eminent personality, Dr. Shashikala Vajjari, ma'am. I again thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation. It was a great pleasure, ma'am. In future also, we expect collaboration of our college with your university in any innovative or research ideas under your guidance and leadership. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your presence. Thank you. Friends, due to some urgent work, today's guest of honor, Dr. Sanjay Dude sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of RTMNU, Nagpur, is unable to join us virtually, but he is connecting with us with his video recording of the inaugural address. I request Dr. Anil Dodeva sir to show us video address of Dr. Sanjay Dude sir, Pro Vice Chancellor of Rashtrasant Tukroji Maharaj, Nagpur University.
Namaskar. At the outset, I congratulate the organizers and principals of both the colleges of organizing the faculty development program on the much needed subject. I appreciate and admire the efforts of Dr. Vandana Bagdekar Madam, Principal Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nagpur, and Dr. Chetan Masram, Principal SN More College, Tumsar, and coordinators of this FDP, Dr. Bharti Katekar Madam and Dr. Nasiri Madam. Education is the foundation of our economy. What we learn in school determines who we become as individuals and our success throughout our lives. It informs how we solve problems, how we work with others, and how we look at the world around us. In today's innovation economy, education become even more important for developing the next generation of innovators and creative thinkers. Innovation in education encourages teachers and students to explore, research, and use all the tools to uncover something new. It involves a different way of looking at problems and solving them. The thinking process that goes into it will help students develop their creativity and their problem solving skill. Innovation in education is especially significant considering the young minds molded by the education system today will be those leading the charges for innovation tomorrow. And if the rapidly changing needs of the current workforce are any indications of what to come for future generations, this investment will be necessary in order to continue making progress at the speed and quality that we are today. To catch up, educators must update the outdated process and approaches defining schools and universities across the country and introduce practices that better prepare students to function in the future. This includes most prominently changes in curricula and hands-on exposure to the expansive digital tools being used across industry today to create an innovative, open, creative, and trustworthy place for students to grow, take risks, and feel comfortable in their own patterns of learning. There are a few key actions teachers can take to create a more innovative classroom. Work culture is one of the most critical aspects to invite innovation and make the classroom a safe place to create, ask questions, and fail in order to learn. I am sure these faculty development programs will surely uncover all the innovative ideas to face the challenges in education and education sector amid this pandemic. I wish the grand success to this FDP. Thanks.
Madam, please unmute yourself, ma'am.
I'm very sorry. I'm thankful to Dr. Sanjay Dudhe sir, Pro Vice Chancellor of Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, for sending us the video message, and which was very motivating, and it will help us to organize more such type of faculty development programs. Thank you, Dudhe sir. I also thank you, Dodeva sir, for showing us this video without interruption. Today we have with us respected Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav Madam. She is Professor and Head Department of Education and Dean Interdisciplinary Studies, Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. I request Madam Rajeshri Vaishnav Ma'am for her inaugural address. Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav Ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sampada Madam. Honorable President of today's inaugural session, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Professor Ravindra Fadnavis, Madam Professor Shashi Vanjari, Honorable Vice Chancellor, SNDT University, Madam Leena Gahane Ma'am, and respected Professor Sanjay Dudhe sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, though he is not present, but he is present virtually with us. Madam Leena Gahane, Deputy Advisor, NAC, Professor Vandana Bagdikar, Principal Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, Professor Chetan Kumar Mesram, Principal SN More College and SD Saraf Science College, Tumsar, coordinator of this FDP, and my good friends, Madam Sampada and Madam Bharti Kateghare, the coordinator of these two colleges, who is looking after the very important aspect, that is the IQSE, Professor Dodevar and Dr. Dipte sir. Other dignitaries who is present in this inaugural session, participants, and all the faculty members of these two colleges. I always feel that organizing any program with such a huge way is always takes a lot of efforts. So I feel privileged to be a part of this academic gathering today. And I always believe that organizing this program in a collaborative manner is such an innovative idea, which has been done by these two collaboration of these two colleges togetherly. Right from the beginning, I feel that I am attached with this program because this Bharti Madam and Sampada Madam approached me. They have given me an idea that they are going to organize. And I'm really feel very happy that they have organized in such a wonderful manner this program where we can provide the faculty development program along with the opportunity for the participants to express their ideas and their views on the topic innovation in teaching, learning, and curriculum in higher education. As we all know that this pandemic has given us a variety of experiences from last 1 years, and these different type of experiences develops a number of innovations amongst us. We all were trained in a way that we were trained in a face-to-face mode only, but heads off to all these teachers and the fraternity of education system that within a span of 1 or 2 months, we have shifted to the online and on-screen mode. Really, it's great. But this type of teaching in an online mode or always requires some different type of approaches, because nowadays whatever the way we have learned, we learn this online experiences through our own efforts without much practical or without much knowledge in a systematic manner. So I believe that this FDP will develop such type of insights so our teachers will be able to deliver their online lectures, their on-screen experiences in a much better way. Now it's time that technology has taken its footstep ahead, and this is the Industrial 4 revolution and the Education 4 revolution also, I feel so, because universities and the institution has to change their way, the way they design their curriculum. It's time now, friends, for us to think the need of our learners is very important. Previously, when we used to teach in offline mode, there was no much opportunity for the students to choose their way of learning. So, but that time it was okay that teachers were the sole master of the arena of this education system. But now the time has changed. We have to change our approach. We have to change our thinking in different manner. We have to ask our students what they want to learn from us, how they want to learn from us. We have to, I always believe that we have to behave like a departmental store, like an Amazon store, where we can provide ample opportunity of our learners to choose what they really want to learn from us. If we want to ask and we want to consider our learners, definitely the time will come, they will choose their own path and they will leave our institution. So that's why it is very much needed that someone has started their mic, please mute. So we have to think in a different manner, like we have to consider the student-centric approach in our designing of our curriculum as well as in our teaching learning process. Another very important aspect which I feel and very important that when you design your curriculum, we have to design in such a manner that we can involve our community, we can develop some site of linkages between the higher education institution and community. Then only our curriculum will work for a longer time and it will make much effective, much effective way we can deliver the curriculum. Then another very, very important aspect which I always believe that when we consider involvement of the community with the higher education institution, we give our students opportunity to learn from the community. Because right now we think that the higher education institution is to spread knowledge amongst the community. But now the time has changed. We have to learn our old practices also, because this pandemic has proved that our old system of education or our old system of living and surviving is much better than the Western countries. So India is already having the knowledge hub. So we have to take that community knowledge into the higher education institution arena and give our students opportunity to learn from the community. So these two types of collaboration is very important, where we disseminate or we do our researches based on the community need, and another we learn from the community practices. We give our students opportunity to combine with the community people and learn from them. Another need which I feel is very important in developing our teaching learning strategy with a robust platform. Because see, when we are appointed as a teacher or when we were a student, rarely we got an opportunity for this technological innovations. But present generation is a tech innovative. They are the native of this technology, and we teachers are the immigrant of this technology. So it is time to learn this technology, but it is not possible for all the teachers to learn all these technological tools all of a sudden. So I always says to the institution of higher education, please make collaborative effort, please join with some technical experts to develop good quality content for your institution, because we teachers are expert in our content, but we are not expert in the much use of technology. So we need to develop such type of content where we take a collaborative efforts between teachers and the experts from the technology field. So our content will be very effective as per the need of our learner, and we can be able to give good concept to our learners. Another important aspect which is very much needed and shown this pandemic, that we need to think to convert our laboratory experiments into virtual platform. That is also needed, how we can convert our laboratory experiences, our field experiences virtually. That is also need to be think over it and design a such type of teaching learning experiences through which our student will get the same experience like we could have given with the face-to-face mode. This is also, I feel, that is needed. Another important aspect that which is lagging in our higher education institution is the industrial experiences. We need to provide the industrial experience to our learner. We need to involve the I can say that work experience model in our teaching learning process. We can send the students for their internship program at all level, not only the postgraduate level. We need to send our learners for the internship at undergraduate programs also. When they really go in the field, when they learn from the industry people, they learn from the society through their internship. Of course, their knowledge will be enhanced. Their learning will convert into experiential model. So this type of experiential learning is also important to provide our learner. When you include all these aspects in our curriculum, definitely we will be able to survive in this changing scenario and will make our mark in the field of higher education. Because if you look at the new education policy also, this policy categorically emphasize the involvement of community researchers, community in the teaching learning process also, right from the school education to higher education. So friends, organizing this FDP will definitely, I hope that organizing this FDP in such an innovative idea will develop an new insight amongst the participants and we all teachers also. I feel so thankful to all the organizers, especially the principals of both the colleges and the coordinator of this program for giving me an opportunity to be a part of your inaugural session and to share my few ideas before you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav ma'am, for motivating and guidance for this inaugural session. My special thanks to Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav ma'am on the behalf of myself and Dr. Bharti Katekhai for guiding us and supporting us for organization of this faculty development program. We will also listen tomorrow session by Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for this inaugural address. Dear friends, it is my honor to welcome and invite today's keynote addressee, Dr. Leena Gahaneji, Deputy Advisor, NAC, Bangalore. She's also from Nagpur. So it is very proud to invite Dr. Leena Gahane ma'am for her keynote address. I invite Dr. Leena Gahane ma'am.
Thank you very much, Sampada ji. Let me share my slides. I think my slides are visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
It's visible.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. Let me seek blessings from Bharat Mata first. Nitim prati prerayati haseyam nityam cha satyam sudnyanamasya या पाठयत्या शुचकर्मनिष्ठा सावंदनीया मम मातृभूमि, जो हमें नैतिकता के मार्ग पर चलने की प्रेरणा देती है, जो सत्य बोलने का आग्रह धरती है और जो हमें अच्छे ज्ञान के लिए प्रेरित करती है, कर्मनिष्ठा सिखाती है, वह मेरी मातृभूमि वंदनीय है। भारत माता की जय। Honorable Chief Guest to today's function, Dr. Shashikala Vanjari ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, SNDT Mumbai. Guest of honor, Pro Vice Chancellor of my university, RTMNU, Dr. Sanjay Ji Dudhe. The President of today's inaugural function, Professor Ravindra Fadnavis Ji. Special guest, Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav Ji, Dean Interdisciplinary RTMNU. Principal Dwaya, Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar Ji and Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram Sir. So also organizing committee Dwaya, Dr. Sampadaji Naseri and Bharti Madam. Dear all colleagues, Namaskar. It is apt to organize week's FDP on a very relevant topic, that is a need of innovation in curriculum, teaching and learning process in higher education. So I would like to congratulate the hosting institution as well as organizing team to select such a beautiful topic, which is very much a need of an hour, where the faculty are under, a process, how in upcoming scenario after the COVID, how to cope up with the, teaching and learning process, and what sort of curriculum has to be designed. So I congratulate the institution for organizing such a important workshop, FDP. Let us understand what exactly the education means. The, what you can say, the education supremo, Dr. Shashikala Madam as well as Rajeshri Madam, as well as Sanjay Dubey sir, has put a light on the education, the pedagogy, the teaching learning process, and importance of innovation in all these processes. But what Swami Vivekananda says is education is nothing but manifestation of perfection already in man that has to be understood. As soon as the stakeholder, what we call it as our student, comes in front of us, we should realize that there is something which is perfect in each of the individual. We need to facilitate to know the perfection by the methodology called as an education. This is a Bloom taxonomic ladder. We already know because we all are in a education for past many years. So we know the journey of education is from known to unknown. The very first step of the ladder is to organize and recognize and recalling the facts which are known to the students, that is to remember the things. Next part is about understanding what the fact means. So next ladder is making them understand. Knowing the things, remembering the things, it will not suffice the purpose that the depth knowledge of the fact is known to us. Rather, pinpointedly knowing the facts is making it understand. When the remembrance is there, when the understanding is there, then definitely the application part will play an important role. So whatever are the facts, whatever are the principles known to us, whatever are the rules, concepts and idea known to us, are we able to apply it? So application comes next. Whenever the similar situation comes in front of us, breaking down the information into different components, that is also important. That is nothing but analyzing the facts, going to the, the very base of what is called as knowledge. Judging the value of information or the idea is nothing but evaluation or to evaluate. Combining parts to make a new whole is nothing but creation of the knowledge. So this is how the journey of education begins. And let me tell you, we all teachers, we are there to make this ladder, make our student to climb this ladder one by one, and finally reach them to the apex or pinnacle called as creation of a new whole thing, and that is nothing but the innovation. Curriculum is one of the important aspects and which lays the foundation of any educational institution. We all agree to this point. The curriculum has to play a dynamic role according to the changing situations as per it, and has to be the resilient to be accommodate the new developments and knowledge explosion. Let me share with you, friends. Initially, we were very rigid to classroom type of teaching. We want a blackboard, we want students in front of us, and then we had a prescribed syllabus, or what you can say, a teaching plan for the day. And we used to just, lecture the things, and we were very rigid about the things. But this pandemic has made us, or rather you can say forced us to adopt the changes as per the environment, and slowly we became resilient to accommodate the new developments, isn't it? The curriculum framework provides a finer outlines about which are the compulsory things and some are the suggestive in nature. So framework lies about what are the compulsory, what are the electives, and what are the suggestive contents to be delivered to the students for gaining up the knowledge. The functioning and the responsibilities of various HEIs in this regard differ depending upon their administrative positions. And so it will all depend upon what type of institution it is, what all are the facilities available to the institution, and finally, what is the mindset of the faculties working as well as management of the institution. NAC has included this parameter, as you are aware of the revised accreditation framework. It has got 7 criteria, and this particular parameter of curricula and teaching and learning process, it is included, and this particular curriculum criteria, it has got a 150 weightage for the university, looking into the flexibility as well as what you can say, uh, uh, it has got all autonomy to implement the curriculum, and the autonomous college, the weightage is 100 marks, and also for the UG and the PG courses. 150 for the autonomous institution as well, and 100 for UG and PG programs. Also, criteria 2 of NAC, it deals with teaching, learning, and evaluation. Teaching is nothing but the efforts of an institution to serve students of different backgrounds and abilities through an effective teaching learning experience. So in this particular line, students of different backgrounds and ability plays an important role. Here the skills, the ability, and the innovation of the teacher plays an important role to make the teaching learning process experience based and effective. The interactive instructional techniques that engage student in higher order of thinking and investigation through the use of interviews, focus group discussion, debates, projects, presentation, experiments, practicum, internship, and application of ICT resources are the important consideration. So I think we all teachers, we had been experimenting all these aspects to make our teaching learning process to be more effective, looking into the students of different background, their abilities, and making our class just to listeners class from the communicative type of class. It also probes into adequacy, competency, as well as the continuous professional development of a faculty who handle the programs of the study. So now we are encouraging the faculty to go for developing the content, dissipating or transacting the content, and making it available for the students at glance. Whatsoever may be the institution, but the content via websites, or you can say the website of the faculties are also there nowadays. We are making all our content available to the student at a global level. The efficiency of the techniques used to continuously evaluate the performance of our teachers and student is also important and plays a major concern to this criterion. So this is what is the scope from what you can say on that point of view regarding the curriculum and teaching, learning, and evaluation. And let me seek your attention to the purpose of we being Bharatiya. Because each nation has what you can say a aim of the life, or what you can say an objective, or a cause of being. So the Bharat has got a cause of being as rightly posed in this particular shlok, that is etad desha prasutasya sakashat dagra janmanaha swam swam charitram shiksheran पृथिव्याम सर्वमानवः. भारत ने जीवन के प्रत्येक क्षेत्र में गहन अध्ययन व अनुसंधान किया है. ये कोई आज की बात नहीं कर रही हूँ. The era when the Bharat came into the existence, since then we had been very deep in doing अध्ययन studies. We had been studying, and we saw also we were doing research. भारत ने ही विश्व को जीवन की दृष्टि, दिशा व शिक्षा दी है. इसी ज्ञान विज्ञान के बल पर हमारे महापुरुषों ने वैभवशाली भारत का निर्माण किया है. So this particular line gives us the aim to each of the institution, or you can say in a broader perspective, aim to the each of the individual, what is the purpose of the life. Why I share this you? Because the legacy of education in Bharat goes thousands of years back, where the formal education was given in Gurukul and informal education was given at home, in the temples, by the society, and also on fields. It was, alas, the legacy of Shiksha which made Bharat Vishwaguru. And due to this education only, we could develop the culture and tradition which lasted in spite of invasions and destruction. Why I quoted this particular shloka and why I seek the your attention to the legacy of education in education in Bharat, because it is not that in this era of 20th century, of 21st century, we are looking into the curricular aspect and teaching learning process. Rather, Bharat was known for its education as a supremo in the globe. That is why we say that यूनान मिस्र रोम सब मिट गए जहां से, लेकिन अभी है बाकी नामो निशा हमारा, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, सदियों रहा है दुश्मन दौरे जमा हमारा. Just because of this quality of education, quality of teaching learning process and apt curriculum, we could create the individuals and that literally conquered the world, not by what you can say a weapon, but by their knowledge, their experience, and by their thought processes, their philosophy, their guidance to the world. See, we had a legacy of teaching, learning, as well as curriculum framing, which has a history of thousands of years. I would like to seek your attention to a small story which will highlight how we had been innovating different pedagogical things, different methodologies in teaching, learning, and curriculum. We all know the stories of Panchatantra, isn't it? There was a king called Amar Shakti, and he has उसके तीन राजकुमार थे, और राजा को ऐसा लगता था कि मेरे राजकुमार जो है वो गुरुकुल में जाए, अच्छी शिक्षा दीक्षा वो प्राप्त करे, और वो जो राज्य का भार है वो अच्छी तरह से वो निर्वाह करे, ऐसी राजा की बड़ी मनोकामना थी. और राजा ने भरसक प्रयास किया. जब बालक 6-7 वर्ष के हो गए, तब से लेकर के लगभग 14-15 वर्षों तक राजा ने भरसक प्रयास किया. हर गुरुकुल में बच्चों को भेजा. उस गुरुकुल की शिक्षा व्यवस्था को देखकर, वहां के करिकुलम को देख करके बालक इतने दुखी हो जाते थे और इतने अनॉयड हो जाते थे कि उनको वहां शिक्षा ग्रहण करना अच्छा नहीं लगता था, और वो वहां से भाग करके आ जाते थे. राजा बहुत परेशान होने लगा और वो सोच में रहने लगा कि कहीं मेरे बालक जो है, राजकुमार जो है, वो अनपढ़ ही ना रह जाए. और उसने अपने राज्य में जो है वो जो है दवंडी पिटा दी. उन्होंने अनाउंसमेंट करा दी कि जो कोई मेरे बालकों को अच्छी शिक्षा से युक्त करेगा, मैं उसको पुरस्कार दूंगा. उन्हीं के राज्य में विष्णु शास्त्री शर्मा नाम के एक पंडित रहते थे, मतलब विद्वान थे, और उनके कान पर ये जो है अनाउंसमेंट आई, और उन्होंने सोचा कि ऐसी क्या बात है कि राजा को एकदम अनाउंसमेंट करनी पड़ी, क्यों न जाकर के उन बालकों को मिला जाए और देखा जाए कि मैं उनके लिए क्या कर सकता हूँ. विष्णु शर्मा जी ने उन तीनों बालकों को साथ में लिया और उनके साथ थोड़ा वार्तालाप किया और राजा को आश्वासन दिया कि मैं एक प्रयास करना चाहता हूँ, अगर आपकी आज्ञा हो. राजा भौचक के रह गए कि न तो इस विष्णु शर्मा जी का कोई गुरुकुल है, न उनको कोई अनुभव है कि अभी तक के बहुत सारे शिष्यों को उन्होंने पढ़ाया. फिर भी राजा हतबल था, इसलिए उन्होंने जो है विष्णु शर्मा जी के नाम के साथ बालकों को जो है शिक्षा ग्रहण करने के लिए भेज दिया. विष्णु शर्मा जी बालकों को जंगल में लेकर गए और 2-3 दिन उनके साथ बिताया. ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज ट्रेडिशनल पद्धति से देने का प्रयास किया. तब विष्णु शर्मा जी को ये पता चला ये जो बालक है, दे आर डिफरेंट. They doesn't like the traditional methodology of teaching. They doesn't like the teaching framework, or you can say a curriculum which is traditionally framed in each of the gurukuls. So he thought of taking up a new method and new way of teaching and making students learn the subject. So slowly he started telling the stories of the animals in the jungle. These stories were value based. They he could tell them the morals of the story, and slowly the knowledge was inculcated in the prince. Slowly they started acquiring whatever was the knowledge, information, skills required to live a good life as and to become a successful raja. After some time, the prince were sent back and the Raja was very happy. What I wanted to tell from you from this story is that it's not that the traditional methods will do this time. Our students, they are exposed to the information, a saga of information. In that field, the teacher has to be very alert and take a charge of the students and transact the curriculum, transact the content to them as per their liking. Teachers should also be available for the student's query. And this is how, if we look back via Panchatantra stories, which are well known to the world, and it has been translated in maximum number of the languages, national languages of different nations, that we are the people of that legacy. So don't run with ignorance, rather sense. Look, hear, feel, read, understand, and be knowledgeable. In the past, there was a superb methodology of evaluation what student has understood. भारत में गुरुकुल में परीक्षा लेने की एक विशिष्ट पद्धति हुआ करती थी. There was a continuous assessment of the Shishyas done, as we have also adopted that after what you can say a 4O upsurge of the teaching learning process in our education system. In the past days, the Shishyas were taken up by the Guru on the very heighted position, or you can say a mountain like thing. And the Guru used to ask Shishyas, okay, whatever you see with your eyes, whatever you hear with your ears, and whatever you sense about this world, जहां तक तुम्हारी नजर जाती है, जो कुछ तुम्हें सुनाई देता है, जो कुछ भी तुम्हारे मन की दशा है, इन सब के आधार पर क्या तुम्हें ऐसा लगता है कि तुम्हें सब कुछ ज्ञात हुआ? अगर विद्यार्थी ने ये कहा कि हाँ मुझे सब कुछ ज्ञात हुआ, ऐसा मुझे लगता है, तो उसी शिष्य को समाज में भेजा जाता था कि इसकी शिक्षा पूर्ण हुई. बाकी लोगों को किसी ने प्रश्न किए तो वापस से उसे गुरुकुल में आना होता था और वापस से वो शिक्षा से जुड़ जाता था, अपना अध्ययन वो पूर्ण करता था और बाद में ही उसे समाज में भेजा जाता था. इस तरह की शिक्षा पद्धति जहां पर विद्यार्थी को पूरा ये उसको ये पूरी सहूलत थी कि जो भी शिक्षा उसे मिली है उसके बारे में उसे जानकारी है या नहीं. सो इट वाज अ सेल्फ इवैल्यूएशन प्रोसेस. सिंस दैट टाइम वी शुड रियलाइज इट. Let me tell you, NAC has focused to the vision that making quality the defining element of higher education in India through the combination of self and external quality evaluation, promotion, and sustenance initiative. Friends, all these examples that I told you, they are very much mapping, getting alignment with the vision of NAC. Now, to accomplish its vision, we need to take some action plans. We cannot, हवा में बातें करने से नहीं होगा. So we need to go into some action. And let me share to you that the action plan of the NAG are contribution to the national development. Whatever are the initiatives, activities, programs run by the institution to contribute in the national development that are of immense importance. Then fostering the global competencies among students. We many a times hear about that कि ओ हमारे स्टूडेंट जो है वो ग्रेजुएट हो गए लेकिन वो एम्प्लॉयबल नहीं हुए हैं. हम बहुत बार इस चीज को, जो एक अच्छा शिक्षक है, उस जब ये इस बात को हम सुनते हैं, हम सभी सुनते हैं, तो हमको ऐसा लगता है, दुख होता है कि what is there which is not right. what has to be implemented so that our students become globally competent. So fostering global competencies among students. I would like to congratulate all the HEIs who are coming from NAC A&A process. Let me tell you that with my experience of looking into the SSRs of the different institutions, I'm feeling like that, yes, now the institution slowly has started up adding some of the courses, giving some of the skills to the students so that our students can foster the global competencies. Then inculcating the value system among the students, promoting the use of technology. Let me tell you that we at NAC, when we say that we promote the use of technology, you are aware of the complete A&A process. It is ICT enabled. If you have some query, you can raise it on the IMS. All communication right from the IIQA submission, SSR, then DVB clarification, student satisfaction survey, submission of your AQARs, and also the result declaration, the whole process, it is via what you can say a use of the portal, extensive use of technology. Let me say thank to the pandemic, not thank just because it has turned our life by 360 degrees. Many people lost their lives just because of this pandemic, but this pandemic challenge, it has converted for us to an opportunity. Though we are sitting thousands of kilometers away from each other, still we are able to communicate just because of this digital platforms and all other ICT innovations. Quest for excellence. Whatever I was yesterday, I need to be better tomorrow. This particular attitude of a teacher of the institution and all stakeholders of the institution, if they take this particular thing in this right perspective, then definitely we can grow. The first criteria, curricular aspects, if we talk of an affiliated colleges, it is essentially a teaching unit which depends on larger body, namely university, for legitimizing its academic and administrative processes. Its engagement with curricular aspects is mainly their implementation, while its participation in curriculum development, procedural detailing, assessment process, procedures, as well as certification is peripheral, and they are givens. Let me share to you that since the management persons are also joined this particular FDP, let us participate with the university to frame the right curriculum. Let us now, this is time to bat beyond the boundaries, then only we can bat for the 6 runs. So we have to participate, we have to to collaborate with the universities on different positions in the universities, in the different bodies, may it be the board of studies member, academic council, and all other things, where the decision about the framing of the curriculum is being taken up. The university has got a mandate, so let us join hands with the university. uh, we have got 4 key indicators which play an important role, and let me seek your attention that curriculum planning and implementation, it is important. Academic flexibility is also important. Let us encourage the university to make up the curriculum academically more flexible. Whatever is the need of an hour, by choice, student can take up a subject. Let us make all canvas of education as multidisciplinary, more of effective type. And yes, the National Education Policy 2020 advocates of academic credit bank also. So let us encourage all these initiatives at the central level, at the national level, at the state level. I would like to congratulate the previous government also, because it has given and encouraged the higher education institution to go for, they have given encouragement for the institution to go for assessment and accreditation process. So academic flexibility is important, because if the academic flexibility would not have been given by Vishnu Sharma to those 3 princes, then I think they would not, never would have learned. Then curriculum enrichment is also important. For decades together, the same notes are being used, same type of lecture methodology we are using. So let us frame and make our curriculum more enriched. Let us have some of the examples, practical examples, some of the, observations which people had been experimenting. Some research component has to be included while delivering the content. And of course, important is the feedback system. Whatever we have delivered, whatever is been taught to the student, do they really feel that this is an apt, this is a required, it is well mapping with what you can say the present scenario of the industry, of the job, of the career. So this feedback plays an important role. I will not go in the details about how it is, but just things at a glance. Curriculum planning and implementation, it has got the weightage of 20 marks. I think the detailing will be done in the subsequent session because it is more focused towards the curricular aspect, teaching and learning. So these are the different questions asked in the NAACS A&A process. Friends, let us understand the intent of the metric. Don't take the assessment and accreditation process just to हमको तो accreditation चाहिए क्योंकि management की इच्छा है और उसके बगैर हमारे पास funds नहीं आएंगे. Rather go with the theme that make quality initiatives as the motto of the institution. Let us institutionalize the best practices and let us internalize the quality culture. Then only we can make a change, because unless and until we make a change, the things won't roll around as we wish. Then academic flexibility refers to the freedom to the use of time frame of the courses. Horizontal mobility will be there. Interdisciplinary options and other facilities of curricular transactions will be there. So academic flexibility is important. Let us have the innovation in academic flexibility. What students like, let us make the like-minded students group so that there will be the interaction of the students on different topics and they will gain the knowledge. Many a times we as a teacher, because I am teacher first, as a teacher, we feel that whenever we transact the things, student will understand and then only they will become knowledgeable. Whatever we give is just a sack of information to them. I already started with there is the perfection within. Let us facilitate that perfection to come out with the query, what we call it as a jidnyasa. So the teacher has to tap that jidnyasa. The teacher has to facilitate the student to shanta their jidnyasa. Let us make them aware of what are the facts and figures of what is their query about. So this is what is the facilitation will play an important role. So again, these are the different weightages to different key indicators. That is about the curriculum enrichment. The holistic development of the student should be the main focus of the curriculum. All and while we had been using the business terms as human resource stakeholders, let us think that this is a jaivik prakriya. Unless and until there is a right bounding between the guru and the shishya, the transfer of the knowledge won't take place. That is why we need to look into the holistic development of a student. Yes, from the skill point of view, knowledge point of view, the developments are important, but also from the emotional point of view, the development is important. Just a moment, please. So the institution integrate across the cross-cutting issues relevant to the professional ethics, gender, human values, environment, sustainability into the curriculum. That has to be taken up as an initiative. Accordingly, the practices has to be done in the institute at the institution level. The field experience has to be given to the students. So experiential learning converts the information into the knowledge. And once the knowledge is been gained, then only the further process of analysis, then breaking up the information into and creation of the knowledge or the innovation is possible. So that apt knowledge has to be gained through the experience only. And of course, the feedback plays an important role. So feedback from all the JVIC people who are associated with the institution, our student, our management, society, parents, alumni, we have to come together. We have to think on IQAC cell has to play an important role in this. take up a feedback, analyze it, make the policies accordingly, and has to be implemented. So do we have that particular system developed in our institution to look into this aspect? This particular graph is about my research I have done on the post-graduation and above institution of our Maharashtra, who has been accredited from 2015 to 2020 on the very first criteria curriculum. I find that when I was going through all the peer team reports, as well as assessment sheet of the institution criteria wise, that time I found that the institution who are being taking up all these four indicators which I mentioned to you in a serious way and practicing in their institution, they have really scored good. But however, the institution who are taking up very lightly across all the four indicators, their performance was low. It is not for assessment and accreditation performance, let me tell you that, but rather it is for the quality higher education through our institution. It is a noble cause that we are imparting to the nation. Teaching, learning and evaluation, it is also an important role. Days are gone when the education was teacher centered. Now it is a learner centered education. Learning centric processes we have to evolve across. And this digital world, it is probing us to move into more of what you can say learning centered. I had find that many students who are online, if they are at one class, they won't be at one class. Whenever they are finding difficulty, oh, this term I'm not able to understand, immediately in the same class, they just go to the Google or some other, machine, online search engine, and they search for what exactly is the meaning. So we have to be now more focused to what exactly we wanted to transact to the students. So the process of teaching learning is now more learner centered. We have to be a facilitating role in the facilitating role where and when required, we have to use the technology, use of computer aided and web-based learning. So all these innovations we have to incorporate in our teaching learning method. We have to make our class more active, and they should be focused on, they should be at the gaining or learning mode. So let us make our class more joyful. Use of appropriate technology, I already told you. The interactive instructional techniques that engage students in higher order thinking and investigation. Friends, in our education system, in a Gurukul days also, there were puzzles told. And through these puzzles, the higher order thinking, thinking beyond the boundaries, thinking beyond the frame, and properly understanding exactly the intent of the topic was being given. So the focus of teaching learning process nowadays has to be catering to the individual differences. I will take 5-10 minutes more. Is it okay? Sampada ji?
Yes, madam, you can go ahead.
Will it do, no? Yeah, yes. I may require some 10 minutes more time.
Yeah.
Catering to the individual differences among the learners, that is important. Otherwise, it is just a factory where the input is there and the output. We wanted that all them to be graduated with the same, just say hum बैलों को वो लगाते हैं ना, so that they won't go here, and we want that the students also should be whatever I told in the class, whatever is the expectation, they should go along that. If the student has some other type of query or a जिज्ञासा, then we just ask him to, oh, shut up, बैठ जाओ, अभी class में कुछ और चल रहा है. So that should not be the attitude. The real teacher, because Acharya Chanakya, he says that शिक्षक कभी साधारण नहीं होता. शिक्षक कभी साधारण नहीं होता, निर्माण और प्रलय उसकी गोद में पलते हैं. इसलिए भारत में शिक्षक का जो सम्मान है वो पहले से शुरू से ही बहुत उच्च कोटि का रहा है. उस सम्मान को फिर से प्राप्त करने की आवश्यकता है. ये तभी संभव है जब हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ जो उनकी इंडिविजुअलिटी है उसको एक्सप्लोर करने के लिए when we will make an all our efforts. Facilitating effective operation of teaching learning, a well conceived plan for monitoring students' progress continuously. किसी वजह से some students, if they are lagging back in the syllabus, we need to look into why they are lagging, what is there happening in their mind, why they are not able to cope up with what we wanted to translate to them. Is they interested or not interested? We had seen the Three Idiots movie, and we find that in that one of the idiots who was supposed to join the engineering was more interested in photography. So that particular thing has to be kept in mind, that beyond what is going in the student mind, can we encourage that particular passion of a student? Evaluation procedure should be rigorous and fair. See, our evaluation methodology, it should be very transparent. We should be able to pinpointedly point out that yes, these students are doing well and these students require more attention, they are lagging behind, but their interests. So we have to be very rigorous in our process of evaluation. Efficient mechanism to recruit qualified and adequate faculty is a paramount. Unless and until we have the teachers with a passion for teaching process, we cannot grow. The teachers who are being forced compulsorily for the sake of job in this noble profession, the things may spoil. So, okay, we have adopted this profession. Now let us have the, let us have that particular qualities to be a good teacher, and let us explore all the possibilities of information and convert them to the knowledge. Providing opportunity for continued academic progress and professional development for faculty is also important. I would like to congratulate institution. They are undertaking this very much for faculty development program, and through faculty development program, they have given a platform to all our participants to express their views on teaching, learning, and curriculum. Each soul is unique and divine. The purpose of education is manifestation of divinity within. This is what Swami Vivekananda said. So use all these methods to meet the expectation of our students. Teachers and technology integration has to be there. Smart boards we have been using. Use of animated graphics has to be there. Enhanced student learning through PowerPoint. Faculty interaction has to be there. Mobile learning has to be there. Oh, still now we are saying that to student that don't use mobile. Whenever we say don't use, student they think of अगर इसको इस्तेमाल करने के लिए नहीं बोला है ना तो हम तो इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Rather teach them how to use it. माँ होती है ना अपनी, वो हमेशा हमें कुछ ना कुछ गाइडेंस देती है, ये करो वो करो, है ना, वो प्रोत्साहित करती है कि ऐसे जाओ. वैसे ही मुझे ऐसा लगता है, once we come in the mother's role, no, that time our student will get attached to us. So let us tell them how to use the mobile. What are the sites to be seen? That will create more interest among the student, rather saying कि यहाँ मत जाओ, वहाँ मत जाओ, ये मत ढूंढो, वो मत ढूंढो. ICT enterprise education and intercultural learning will be there. They can learn into how the different cultures are there through the website. They can log into different nations' culture, and they can foster a meaningful students' learning can be a possibility. So all these things we need to adopt in our teaching, learning, and evaluation process to make our student more knowledgeable. Cafeteria learning to build entrepreneurial skills. As of now, our students even has a typical mindset that हमारा post graduation होने के बाद हम job लेंगे. Why always to be job takers? Why not job givers? That particular thing will make our India Atmanirbhar, isn't it? Our beloved Prime Minister has given us a clarion call to make take up charge of this nation, and let us make our Bharat Atmanirbhar Bharat. So the cafeteria learning will, enhance and encourage the students. Engaging the students in the activities will enable students to think in a far better way. They can gear up to adapt to what activities they are going to engage in order to obtain knowledge. So this interaction of the students, like-minded students, it will definitely lead to some innovation, and finally the patents will come out of this thought process, and our students can be the good entrepreneurs, because that will bring the money that will add the money to the economy of this nation. So let us give the scope to the students. In teaching learning process, we consider the following thing: Experimental learning methodologies for the participative learning, well advocated by Rajeshri Madam. She told that yes, experiments, virtual experiments we need to build up. Then blended learning is also the need of an hour. It's not that everything can go digital. Some, human contact has to be there to make student realize what exactly the experience is about and what exactly they want. They should learn. That discussion sometimes has to be physical. So there has to be face-to-face classes, and so also there has to be the online classes. Use of educational technology we have to do. Problem solving approach has to be there. Computer aided information retrieved by the students and staff will be there. Use of library resources effectively. See, as of now, if we say what are the footprints of our library, in the NAC ANA process, we ask for how many times student per day is attending the library. So we find that the registered they are made when your assessment and accreditation process actually you initiate. So that should not be. Why students are running away from the library? Let us make our library also the knowledge seeking area. The teacher can go with the students and explore the books available and tell them what are the books, what are the content inside. But friends, let me tell you, for that we need to have the insight to all the books which are available in the library, especially our whatever field we are interested in. Use of library equipments, laboratory equipments, field experiences has to be there. Use of wide range of technique, materials and experiences are there. Experiential learning is far better than theoretical, isn't it? So let us move out. As we move out, it's not that only what subject we wanted to learn, the knowledge we will gain. Rather than that, we will gain the knowledge from nature as well. And that is also uh, and that is also an important thing. This is how the guru used to take the shishya on the height where everything was visible, and that time it was asking, what you know, do you really feel that you know everything? So friends, that time has come of giving that experiences to our teacher students as well. Possibilities of experiential learning is creating learning spaces for experiential learning. We keep our academia so tight. हमारा टीचिंग प्लान, हमारा एकेडमिक कैलेंडर इतना टाइट होता है कि वहां पर लर्निंग या एक्सपीरियंशियल स्पेस को कोई जगह ही नहीं देते हैं. Respect for all learners and their experiences. Students want to share many things when they are in the class. But friends, we are not in listening mode. Let us be more, of listening type rather than just speaking up. Begin learning with the learner's experience of the subject matter. Yes, each class, you also have the same experience. I know that each class, whatever previous year we taught the same subject we taught this year also, but many things come to us as a new. They are giving a new outlook to our, content, to our delivery, and they are adding to the knowledge. So we are learning day as we are passing up. Creating and maintaining the friendly space for learning, it is also important. Unless and until the level is there, students are otherwise shy, they are fearing the teachers, they don't share what is there in their mind. So creating and maintaining a friendly space for the learning. Making space for conversational learning, conversation has to be there. Making space for the development of expertise, making space for acting, reflecting, making space for feeling and thinking, making space for inside out learning. Nothing will come from outside. It is just realizing whatever we have at our own. It is just realizing and making compatible whatever we are saying. That is what is about inside out learning, making space for learning to take charge of their own learning. So these are all the techniques that we have to provide to give the student the experience of what we wanted to convey. Promoting learning in higher education through institutional development, evaluation of educational structures and processes against promotion of learning criteria. The management part plays an important role here. They have to be a party to IQAC cell. They have to interact with the IQAC members and take this particular educational institution to the high heights by giving a proper educational structures. Longitudinal outcome studies to determine the learning value added. We go just by up vertical ladder, itna kiya to pass, utna kiya to fail. It's not that. Along with the vertical limits, there are horizontal expanse also. So it is very much needed that longitudinal and outcome studies to determine learning value added. Becoming learner-centered institution, continuous research and inquiry about learning processes has to be done. That is important. Once we get our cash promotion, after that we are not into research. It should not be like that. Wherever we are, at whatsoever we are, we should acquire for what you can say our research passion. We should acquire for the new good projects. They can be minor or major projects, and so also get the funds so that we can mobilize the resources in proper way. Becoming a learning organization through continuous, I won't use the word here. I have written stakeholder, but a Jaivik participation and interaction to all. What you hear, you remember temporary. जो कुछ हम सुनते हैं थोड़ी देर के लिए हमें अच्छा लगता है. What you see, you remember better. जो हमने देखा हुआ होता है हम थोड़ा ज्यादा दिन तक ज्यादा दूरी तक उसको याद रख सकते हैं. And what you do will be remembered forever. This is a principle behind experiential methodology. So, friends, where we want to stand, rather to be looking to the 5 lines connecting all nine dots you wanted to be, or you wanted to just move across wherever I have shown the arrows at point 3 and point 4, going beyond the scope, connecting all dots to make the figure, or just connecting by the shortest way, 3 lines, inclining the dots to some extent at an angle and finishing up the task. Imagination, approach, practice, implementation will make a difference. It is your attitude and not the aptitude will determine your altitude. So the teacher has to be, really attitudinal rather than aptitudinal. So blending learning, I have already told you what is a possibility. Innovative teaching strategies involved. Innovation structure is centered on students and learning processes. It is not just pouring the things, making them remember, rather going to the analogy how the things are coming up. Yes, I was at one interview to the school where the teacher has to be appointed to the maths. I just asked her what is the table of 3. Then I asked how the table of 3 come into existence. What is the logic behind? She could just say that my teacher asked her me to mug up, and just I know that 3 ones are 3 and 3 twos are 6. She could not explain that 3 plus 3 added twice makes 3 twos are 6. So this particular philosophy of knowledge has to be given to the student. So project-based teaching, spaced learning, crossover teaching, place-based education, formative assessment, flexible Fridays, crossover teaching, personalized teaching practices, all has to be taken up to encourage collaborative and individual learning. This will develop the abilities, attitudes, and values in a planned and programmed way, and student achievements will be evaluated. It uses a variety of teaching techniques. It uses technological resources to enrich and making learning process more effective. As of now, we were only thinking of read, memorize, and recite. But now I would like to add 2 more dots in the Excel, that understanding is important. And once you understand the thing, after recitation, you are able to apply the knowledge, and then only you can excel. So we now turn our attention to the main emergent technologies. That is nothing but computational thinking, computational modeling, mobile devices, pedagogic robotics. These are technical things, but yes, friends, we are using it. Let me share to you that we are using all these platforms nowadays. And these platforms has made our teaching, learning, and education process, I don't say on par with the present scenario, but yes, we are trying to, put our rhythm with whatever is coming put forth to us. Evaluation is student perception about assessment significantly influence their approach to the learning and studying. Conversely, students' approaches to study influence the ways in which they perceive the evaluation and assessment. Rather, I want to suggest that evaluation should be self-evaluation. Ask our students to say, oh, whatever you have read, have you really understood it? Where you have seen all this knowledge concept, are you able to apply it? Competition with me, compete with me, not with others, because each individual is divine, it is different. Continuous assessment has to be there. There has to be continuous monitoring of the teacher, we can call it as a guru, to his student, that is a shishyas, so that they can excel in their life. Open books exam is also a possibility. Quiz can be there. Project presentation can be there. Group discussion. All these methodologies we need to tell to our students and make their information converted into knowledge. The second criteria deals with the student enrollment profile, teaching learning process, then catering to the student diversity, teachers profile and quality, student satisfaction survey, evaluation process and entry form. So all these things we have to keep in mind while we are going for the teaching, learning and evaluation mechanism to the students. Remaining things are, they all are in depth of the different criteria as it is available via different video lectures to our NAC website. Anytime you can visit to and you can go into depth. Let me seek your attention. We always talk of a change, but what we want is that the change should be from the outside. Others should change, then only the world will change. I think that the hashtag should be a change, see a change. The change should happen from within me, and I should be the initiator of the change. So, good for the change is to be needed, just because we want to again lead in the knowledge area and become Vishwa Guru. आओ हम सब मिलकर भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बनाएं। आत्मनिर्भरता के लिए ये आवश्यक है कि हम अपने लोकल प्रोडक्ट्स के बारे में vocal हो, बोले, so that it will reach to the global standards. This will be possible only when the application part will come, knowledge will get converted into application and creation, then only we can be producing the local products and we can reach the global standards. I love the sentence of Swami Vivekananda: take risk in life. If you win, you can lead. And if you lose, you can guide. So both way, we teachers, we are at, we are at a safe zone only. We can either lead or guide. Namaskars to all. These are the all possibilities in curriculum, teaching, learning, and evaluation. Thank you to the institution who has given me a chance to put my ideas on what exactly the teaching, learning process and curriculum has to be in a present scenario of pandemic. Thank you so very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much.
मैडम एक थोड़ा प्रश्न था।
हाँ जी सर
वो मैडम 2.2.1 में जो है कैटरिंग टू स्टूडेंट डाइवर्सिटी, आपने भी इसमें स्लाइड दिखाई, उसमें द इंस्टीट्यूशन असेस द लर्निंग लेवल्स to the students and organize the special program for advanced learner and slow learner. इसके बारे में थोड़ी आइडिया क्लियर होना चाहिए।
Yes. Sir, बहुत बार depending upon the performance of the student, we categorize the student as slow learner and fast learner. From the exam point of view, if you talk of, then we need to group them, and accordingly some facilitation at the institution level, so that the extra classes, extra efforts are to be taken for the development of the student in that particular subject has to be done. This would be possible only when we have this mentoring system in our institution, so that there will be a good rapport between the student and the teacher. Student, before appearing to the exam itself, will come to the teachers and tell them, yes, they are facing some problems in art subjects or science subject or whatsoever, so that before they appear for the exam itself, you can take a charge of the student and arrange for some classes. But friends, after the exams are over, depending upon performance, you categorize them: medium performance, high performance, low performance, because high performance student, they may lead to the institution for excelling in the university as a rank holders. Slow learners, if they are facing some etiquette or like that, you can pull them up so that their years are not lost. So we need to look into the diversity of the student at the admission level we are doing. Some students are coming from absolutely rural background. They cannot speak, they cannot cope up with the syllabus. For them, some extra efforts have to be done so that they understand the subject in far better way. There can be different techniques. Let me share you, if a time, 1 minute time is there, then I can share.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
one of the teachers from our Aurangabad, teaching to the rural schools, they are ZP schools, madam. And what he has done, no, in the pandemic, when it was not possible to give the actual experience of learning to the student, what he did, he made a QR code at the end of each of the content, and student with the help of their mobiles are able to scan that QR code, and that particular content link is leading to some video he made. So also he has searched from the Google and other platforms, and he linked that particular content to this QR code and made the class very enjoyable. So also I thought somewhere in the Yavatmal or in Nagpur even, some of the school teachers, ZP school teacher, he is writing on all walls which are available about the mathematics, because he has taken that sankalpa ki that particular gram will be not illiterate in mathematics. See, these are beautiful initiatives. We have to take somehow. We are having ample of resources. Funds is not problem with us. Salary is not a problem with us. We have ample of opportunity. Let us convert these opportunities and make the life really change. Patil sir, is your
मॅडम एक थोडा एक त्याच्यामध्ये होता जे पूर्ण नॅकचं जे SSR ची जी माहिती दिली आहे त्याच्यात 2.2 कॅटरिंग टू स्टुडंट्स डायव्हर्सिटी मध्ये सर्वात शेवटची लाईन अशी दिली आहे की व्हाईल इन द युनिजेंडर इन्स्टिट्यूशन एक्सप्लिसिट एफर्ट्स आर टू बी मेड टू सेन्सिटाइज द स्टुडंट्स अबाउट द अदर जेंडर.
Yes.
तर हे थोडं
So these are the value added initiatives. So we have different caste category class as per the physical, some are Divyang student coming to us, and these UAs, they are in teasing mode sometime to some cadre of the class. In that case, some initiatives has to be taken from the institution side so that everybody will respect this diversity. Because looking into the diversity, the inherent is the unity, and that is what we respect our constitution for that, isn't it? So inherent unity has to be sensed looking into the diversity. So we have to take the initiative at the institution level so that the students are sensitized for this diversity. Gender issues are also there. There are many cross-cutting issues. So we need to strengthen our student in this area also, so that respectfully we can put our point. We always say, no, vade vade jayate tattva bodha. If you want to discuss something, no, it cannot be one I am saying and you will accepting. No, it won't be. It won't lead to knowledge. There has to be input on your side also. Togetherly, we will have a common consensus, and that will be the apt knowledge. So this particular initiative we have to take at our institution levels.
Thank you very much.
Anything else? Because I'll be exiting from the meeting. I have another meeting. If there are queries, I can handle for another 5 minutes, or otherwise I will exit. Is it okay?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, Dr. Leena Gahane, ma'am, for your keynote address. Through your presentation, you made us aware of needs of present education system and its importance. You highlighted the criteria of NAC very briefly and very, very effectively. Your message from Panchatantra stories reached to our heart, and we regularly see you on the Facebook also through these stories. Very nice they are. Ma'am, we are so proud of you that you have reached such an important position in NAC. You made our university and our city very proud. We are proud of you, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation and for your keynote address. We will again keep especially your session. If people they have many queries, we can deal with that also. So thank you very much
thank
for
you. Namaste, madam.
yeah. Thank
Namaste,
you very much.
Vandana-ji. Chetan Kumar sir,
Namaste,
namaste.
madam.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
will
ma'am.
exit if you permit me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Dear friends, at the outset, I welcome Honorable President of Stri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Dr. Shri Ravindra Fadnavis sir. I request Shri Fadnavis sir for his presidential address. Before that, I welcome Dr. Vinayak Deshpande, sir. He will be conducting next session. So I welcome you, sir, and thank you, everyone. And now I invite Mr. Ravindra Fadnavis, sir, for his presidential address.
माझा आवाज येतोय का?
हो, sir.
नमस्ते. आज का ये जो फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम का सेशन चालू हुआ है, पहले तो मैं आपसे क्षमा मांगता हूं कि मैं लेट ज्वाइन हुआ हूं इसमें. इसका पूरा करिकुलम क्या है मुझे मालूम, लेकिन नैक के हिसाब से जो फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए, नैक क्या है, नैक में क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स है, ये हर टीचिंग फैकल्टी को मालूम होना चाहिए. इस हिसाब से शायद मेरे को लगता है ये प्रोग्राम कंडक्ट किया जा रहा है. अब नैक का असेसमेंट थोड़ा मेरे हिसाब से कंट्रोवर्शियल, क्योंकि हर साल हम हमारी नीति चेंज करते. हर 5 साल में हम लोग कुछ नया लाने का विचार करते, कुछ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करने का ट्राई करते. लेकिन इसके लिए जो चीजें चाहिए, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स चाहिए, वो खड़ा करने के हिसाब से अभी तक कोई भी एफर्ट्स किए गए नहीं है. शायद मेरे को लगता 20 साल हुए नैक चालू होने से. एक्रेडिटेशन जो करना था उस हिसाब से ना गवर्नमेंट सीरियस है, ना इंस्टीट्यूशन सीरियस है. अभी जो मैडम बता रही थी कि क्वालिटी एजुकेशन के हिसाब से ये बहुत नेसेसरी है. ये 100% ट्रू है, लेकिन व्हाट अबाउट द क्वांटिटी? क्वालिटी इज देयर, व्हाट अबाउट द क्वांटिटी? हमने सोचा था कि बाय द एंड ऑफ दिस 5-year प्लान एटलीस्ट 25% to 30% स्टूडेंट शुड एनरोल टू द हायर एजुकेशन, बट अभी तक हम ये अचीव कर नहीं पाए. हमारे जो सर्वोच्च संस्था है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन है, यूनिवर्सिटीज है, डायरेक्टोरेट्स है, ये अपने हिसाब से अपने कानून और अपने रूल्स के बहुत ज्यादा रिजिड है. यूनिवर्सिटीज में जितने भी कमिटीज है, तो कमिटीज में जो इंटरेस्टेड पर्सन्स है वो अपने इंटरेस्ट हर्ट होने नहीं देते. मैडम अभी जो बता रही थी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द करिकुलम, मेरे को नहीं लगता कि 10 साल में कोई फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी अपने करिकुलम में आई. क्रेडिट सिस्टम आई, लेकिन अभी तक उसका प्रॉपर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हुआ नहीं है. नैक के हिसाब से हम पूरी तैयारी कर लेते हैं. ऑन पेपर वी आर परफेक्ट. इस साल एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली है कोविड की वजह से कि नैक की कमेटी शायद कॉलेजेस में नहीं आएगी. ऑनलाइन इवैल्यूएशन होगा, बच्चों से या स्टूडेंट से बातें होंगी, ऑनलाइन होंगी, लेकिन इसका आउटकम क्या है? ये जो आउटकम है, इसमें से फैकल्टी रियली डेवलप होने वाली है या नहीं? हमारे फैकल्टी का एटीट्यूड जो है वो पूरा सेल्फ सेंटर्ड है. कैश आने के बाद मेरा कैश का जो परसेंटेज बढ़ाना है, मार्क्स बढ़ाने कैश में, उस हिसाब से हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं. लेकिन जो पायाभूत जिसको हम कह सकते हैं, जिसके लिए एजुकेशन सिस्टम है, वो स्टूडेंट्स आर टोटली इग्नोर्ड इन दिस थिंग. Very few students, they go for this thing, quality. But what about the mentality of the students and parents? We never thought about that thing. We'll have to think about that thing. We'll have to come up and face the challenge, क्योंकि बच्चे धीरे धीरे करके हायर एजुकेशन सिस्टम से दूर जा रहे. जब भी मैडम बोल रही थी, हमारे ही कॉलेज ने सर्वे कंडक्ट किया था, और वो सर्वे कंडक्ट करने का आउटकम ऐसा था कि 90% ऑफ द ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स दे आर अनएम्प्लॉयबल. उनमें कोई स्किल्स नहीं है. लेकिन ये स्किल्स डेवलप करने के हिसाब से हमारे करिकुलम में जो चेंजेस लाने चाहिए वो यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल पे होते नहीं. जब से स्टार्ट हुआ है लैंग्वेजेस का डिपार्टमेंट, लैंग्वेजेस को ट्रिमेंडस डिमांड है मार्केट में, लेकिन हमारा ना बोर्ड ऑफ स्टडीज ना हमारे कॉलेज है ये सोच रहे कि हम लैंग्वेजेस किस हिसाब से बच्चों में डेवलप करें, उनके स्किल्स कैसे इंप्रूव करें और उनको कहाँ कहाँ अपॉर्चुनिटीज है ये बताया जाए. नो वन थिंग्स अबाउट दैट. फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट में आप लोग वहाँ इन्वॉल्व हो रहे हैं, तो फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट में फर्स्ट थिंग यू विल हैव टू लर्न दैट आई एम नॉट अ एम्प्लॉय. हमारे दिमाग में अभी भी ये पड़ जाए कि मैं नौकरी कर रहा हूँ, चाकरी कर रहा हूँ, मेरे आवर्स बंधे हुए हैं, 10 बजे आऊंगा, 5 बजे निकल जाऊँ. उसके बाद क्या होता है क्या नहीं, ये एटलीस्ट टीचिंग लाइन में हो नहीं सकता. Once you are a teacher, you are a teacher for 24 hours. You will have to act according to that. And then if we can initiate this thing, then and then I think the faculty will be enriched, faculty will be developed. They will be responsible for the students. First thing that we'll have to inoculate these values in the faculty. Then we can ask the students to go for the values. आज का जो ये करिकुलम डेवलपमेंट का प्रोग्राम चल रहा है, फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट का प्रोग्राम चल रहा है, इसमें ये भी एस्पेक्ट देखा जाएगा. ऐसे होप करता हूँ आप सभी को बेस्ट विशेष देता हूँ और यही मैं आप लोगों से रजा लेता हूँ.
Thank you very much, sir, for your presidential address of this inaugural session. Friends, now we are at the end of inaugural session, but immediately after this section, we have a session by Dr. Vinayak Deshpande, sir, on new education policy issues and challenges. Now I request Dr. Anil Dodewar for formal vote of thanks of inaugural session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Honorable dignitaries present here on the virtual platform and my dear participants. We are almost at the fag end of this inaugural ceremony of 5 days national level faculty development program organized collaboratively by Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nagpur and SN More College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Tumsar. What is left is the formality to propose a vote of thanks. Hence, it is obligatory on our part to conclude this inaugural ceremony by extending a vote of thanks to all of you present here today on this virtual platform. So first of all, on behalf of Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nagpur and SN More College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Tumsar, I wholeheartedly express my deep sense of gratitude to Honorable President of this inaugural ceremony and also of our Stri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Nagpur, Shri Ravindraji Fadnavis, who has accepted our invitation and presided over the function. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I am equally thankful to Dr. Shashikala Vanjari, Honorable Vice Chancellor, SNDT University, Mumbai, for being kind enough to accept our invitation and deliver the inaugural address on this occasion. Thank you, madam. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Leena Gahane, Deputy Advisor of NAC, Bangalore, for sparing a little bit time from her busy schedule to deliver the keynote address with her deep-rooted knowledge on the topic chosen for this FDP. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. My special thanks are also due to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sanjay Dude, for offering his best wishes through the video recording in spite of being busy with the university assignment. I also express my sincere thanks to Rajeshri Vaishnav, Dean Interdisciplinary RTM, Nagpur University, Nagpur, for being kind enough to accept our invitation and remain present here on this occasion. I am equally thankful to Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, convener of the Faculty Development Program and principal of Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nandanwan, Nagpur, for remaining proactive in organizing this 5-day faculty development program. Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. I am equally thankful to another convener of the Faculty Development Program and principal of SN More Arts, Commerce, Science College, Tumsar, Dr. Chetan Kumar Mashram for providing healthy cooperation in organizing this program. I also express my deep sense of gratitude to the IQSC coordinator, Dr. Radhesham Dipte, Head Department of English, SN More College, Tumsar, for his wonderful cooperation. I also express my heartfelt thanks to the coordinators of the Faculty Development Program, Dr. Sampada Naseri, Associate Professor, Department of Home Economics, Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, and Dr. Bharati Katekhaye, Associate Professor, Department of Home Economics, SN More College, Tumsar, for taking a lot of efforts for making this event successful. My special thanks also goes to Dr. Kalpana Pandey, Honorable President Shikshan Manch, and Dr. Shubhangi Dange, former Chairperson, BOS, Home Economics, for providing kind support and guidance to materialize the dream of organizing faculty development program. My duty shall be incomplete if I do not mention about those who directly or indirectly contributed something for the betterment of this program. Last but not the least, dear digital participants, it is because of your support and presence we could think of this program. I therefore thank and appreciate your valuable presence on this occasion. So once again, on behalf of Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, and SN More College, Tumsar, I thank you all and wish you all the best. Now, with the consent of the chair, I hereby declare that the inaugural ceremony is over. For further proceeding, over to Dr. Sampada Naseri. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anil Dodewar, sir, for your formal vote of thanks. So immediately we will begin with the next session of Dr. Vinayak Deshpande, sir. I request you, Dodewar, sir, to make him co-host. Respected Principal of Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, Principal of SN More College of Arts and Commerce and GD Saraf Science College, Tumsar, Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram sir, Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav ma'am, and today's facilitator, Dr. Vinayak Deshpande sir, and dear participants. I, Dr. Sampada Naseri, welcome you all for this very important session on national education policy issues and challenges. For this, we have with us Dr. Vinayak Deshpande sir. Sir, आहात ना? आहे ना? Okay, sir. It is my privilege to give brief introduction of Dr. Vinayak Sridhar Deshpande sir. Although we all know him, we are familiar with Dr. Deshpande sir, but it is my duty to give his formal introduction. Sir is MA in Economics, MCom, MPhil, MBA, and PhD. He has 35 years of teaching experience, and in that 12 years as a professor in the university. We all know that Sir was 2 times appointed Pro Vice Chancellor of RTMNU. He was Vice Chancellor acting RTMNU from 2014 to 2015. He was Head and Director, Department of Business Management, Assistant Director, Academic Staff College, RTMNU from 1997 to 2003. He was also officiating registrar of Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj Nagpur University in 2019. He was dean as an additional charge taken by him, Faculty of Commerce and Management, Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj Nagpur University from 2017 to 2019. He was member of Senate, Management Council, Board of Examinations, Chairman of Board of Studies of Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj Nagpur University. It is very proud that Sir was member of Regional Imbalance Committee appointed by Honorable Governor of Maharashtra under chairmanship of Dr. Vijay Kelkar. Dr. Vinayak Deshpande awarded, under his supervision, 32 research students received PhD. He chaired many sessions. Keynote address was given by him in many conferences. He conducted major research projects of university grant commissions. Dr. Deshpande sir also published many books, research articles in various reputed journals and monographs. He is also associated with many universities. He is executive member of All India Economic Association. So I very proudly, I invite you, sir, for proceed for your session on new education policy issues and challenges. Before you start, I apologize for the late of this inauguration function. So I request you to start your session.
Thank you, Dr. Sampada Naseri Madam, for generous introduction of mine. Thank you so much. I feel really happy and delighted to be here for faculty development program on need of innovation in curriculum and teaching learning process in higher education, organized by Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nandanvan, SN Moore College of Arts and Commerce and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College, Tumsar. I congratulate both the colleges for organizing this program, and I'm sure all the participants, they would be benefited by this faculty development program. Principal of Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nandanvan, Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, Principal SN Moore College of Arts and Commerce and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College, Tumsar, Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram, coordinators of this workshop, Dr. Sampada Naseri Madam, Dr. Bharti Chakole, all the participants, those who are attending this program. I must thank in the beginning the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share some of the thoughts relating to national education policy announced by the government. It's a thought-provoking document, I would say, and many changes are going to take place in the overall education system, especially in higher education. And therefore, for all of us, higher education is very close to our heart. So whenever we get an opportunity to discuss about the higher education, we always feel excited. And therefore, I immediately agreed that this session would be quite interesting, and that is how I am here. Again, thankful to the organizers. Friends, whatever the problems we have in the current education system, we all are aware about it. But at the same time, it would be interesting to find out what are the challenges we are facing at the moment, what are the problems we are facing. And therefore, I consider that knowing the recent policy document is important for all of us, those who are in the field of education. Quite ambitious document, quite ambitious policy. And because it is ambitious, we feel that how it can be implemented in practice. But of course, we are the part of the system, and therefore, we should try our best to find out how it can be implemented, though it is difficult. And therefore, I would try to share some of the policies which are announced in the National Education Framework. And then I'll try to give my own perception regarding how this policy can be worked out and how it can be implemented. After going through the document, the one thing is very certain, that existing education system needs complete transformation. And therefore, it is not just the reform in education, but I would say that it is transformation of education. And that transformation is so significant that whatever the activities at the moment we are performing in the education system that is going to change, and therefore I would say that it is the game changer for the education system. Many times we have heard from many documents, Radhakrishnan Commission, which was appointed long back, he was of the opinion that intellectual pioneers of civilization has to be found and trained in universities. And therefore, whatever the adventures would we like to do, universities are homes for these intellectual adventures. And therefore, we all believe that education is an instrument of social change. And because it is an instrument of social change, we have to take it very seriously. Many times what we find that though we say that it is instrument of social change, but for me, it is quite worrisome that making people fit to fast changing society, or we want to change the society. We expect from the education system that whatever the existing problems in the society we have, that we must be able to address with the help of our education system. But many a times we find that whatever the changes which are taking place in the education system, we try to get accustomed with that changes without bothering that how we can become the instrument of bringing change in the society. And therefore, education is such an important aspect of our life. Particularly, I would say that Indian families, we take education very personally. And nowadays we find that almost in all the families, people have started giving importance to the education system. And therefore, I feel that it is not just the reformation, but it's a transformation. And the fact is that given the challenges we face, education does not need to be reformed. It needs to be transformed. And therefore, we say that the only person who is educated is the one who has learned how to learn and change. And therefore, education is about finding way to learn what makes you happy. Many times people are deprived about certain kind of things from which he can derive the pleasure, because they are not aware about the fact how to derive the pleasure. And that can be actually, we can make people aware, empowered with the help of the education system. And therefore, the foremost thing which needs to be considered is that try to teach students to think themselves and to be critical to what they are learning. And therefore, the rote learning kind of thing which is going on at the moment, that requires transformation. So there is a need to have the drastic change in the education system. And I would say that massive overhauling of the education system is required. And from that point of view, if you look at this document, it's a landmark policy. And every university has to revisit its governance structure. You cannot have the existing University Act, which was actually passed in 2016. That act also will have to be changed in the background of this new education policy. And from that point of view, I consider that this workshop would be of immense importance in order to find out what changes are going to take place in the education system. So qualitative approach towards quantitatively large population, that is what is required to be done. Like when we talk about quantity, our gross enrollment ratio in higher education policy document suggests that it is to be increased up to 50%. At the moment, it is around 25-26%. So almost we have to double gross enrollment ratio. But at the same time, I feel that when we focus our attention on gross enrollment ratio of higher education, we should not neglect vocational education. And vocational education exposure is equally important, and it should not be affected in the process At present, if you see the GR of vocational education, it is just 2.4%. So we, in the background of skill development and other kinds of things which we are talking about, I feel that this information needs to be understood, that where we stand as far as the vocational education and higher education is concerned, and therefore that is how that changes are required. Of course, the focus is on bringing standardization, that as far as possible, every individual in all the states of the country, they must have some kind of uniform pattern of education as far as possible. But I feel that along with standardization of education, how we improve the standard of education, that is equally important. And therefore, teachers, they need capacities of knowledge, they need passion and compassion both. Unless they are compassionate towards their students, probably we may not be able to deliver what actually we are planning. And therefore, many a times what is happening, we are linking education to workforce, that whether students are employable or not, and the focus goes in that particular manner. So education should make children basically good democratic citizen, and how far we have succeeded in doing it, that needs to be evaluated. So from my point of view, the mute question is, are we seeking the standardized or are we seeking to raise a standard in education? Probably we need both, and the priority has to be on improving the standard in education rather than bringing standardized education. What is required is organic growth, where it should come in such a smooth manner that people should not feel that it is burdensome. So there should not be burden for the teachers, there should not be burden for the parents, and this would happen provided we have passion to do that work. Why do we need to show our thumb when you enter in the college? I think that practice should be stopped if you have passion. That kind of formalities which we are getting accustomed to, that I think that requires drastic change. And if we believe that teachers are passionate and teachers, they are serious about their jobs, probably we should not require these artificial instruments to make teachers disciplined. And that is what is expected when you talk about changes in the education system. What is the problem of education system? Let us try to understand that before switching over to what solutions they are providing with the help of national education policy. The current state of education, and I'm talking about both from nursery to higher education. Quickly, I will try to cover those issues. State of education is half of class 5th can't read class 2nd text. This is ASER report, which we all know they are publishing annually, and that annual status on education report, that is ASER, clearly brought this kind of status of higher education, and of course about the school education also. 59% class 1 kids don't pursue 2-digit numbers. And there is so much pressure on students that 2018, 10,000 students committed suicides, highest in 10 years. And therefore, this background relating to the changes which are in the national education policy, that needs to be considered and studied in this background. Another critical problem, corruption and commercialization of private education. Unscrupulous fee structure. Parents are worried about this. And teachers are not getting also the kind of salaries they should get from the private and especially non-grant colleges. So these are the basic problems, and then we expect that we need to improve the quality. Then we have compartmentalization. Those who are going for engineering, medical, they are considered to be superior in the society. And those who are doing BA, BCom, because they couldn't get the admission, they couldn't compete with the others, and therefore ultimately they are landed in the arts and commerce kind of courses. That is the overall perception of the society. Those who are doing BA, they feel कि हम BA है तो क्या हुआ दिलवाले हैं, and that is how we try to project ourselves, that how we are better and how we have humanitarian approach better than the others, and that is realized by the policy also. And therefore, what needs to be considered, that how far we are going to address all these current problems relating to the education. Basic problem is education does not give you job, and unemployment is the basic problem. Many times people say that education is irrelevant for life, and unemployment and the quest for work have inspired many filmmakers, lyricists down the decades in fascinating ways. Number of songs and number of movies, they are based on this problem of education, and that is what they try to bring it. Like Gulzar's ironic song, हाल चाल ठीक ठाक है, BA किया, MA किया, लगता है वो भी आई वही किया, काम नहीं है वरना यहाँ आपकी दुआ से सब ठीक ठाक है. मेरे अपने kind of movies where they showed the problem of unemployment. Then you find many a times dialogue in Hindi movies that जगह बहुत है, कम है, मुसाफिर ज़्यादा हो गए हैं, and therefore it is becoming difficult to get jobs. Overall, the scenario is, it is becoming too exam centric, and probably the basic component, that is student, it is neglected, and probably वो विद्यार्थी न रहते हुए परीक्षार्थी ज्यादा हो गए. And we want that students, vidyarthi, they should develop in a proper manner. So what are the challenges in the education sector basically? Total population 135 crores, more than 66% are in the age group of 15 to 45 years. And therefore we say that India is going to get the demographic dividend because we have a large section of young population. And education that can provide human dignity, that is the kind of thing we require. And to some extent, you find that this issue is addressed in the latest education policy. Another important serious issue which needs to be considered when we talk about the implementation of this policy, that whatever the jobs which are available, within 10 years, 65% jobs will not be in existence. Whatever the training, whatever the kind of education system we are providing to our youngsters, all those jobs and the kind of training for those jobs, that probably will be vanished. And therefore, it has to be so dynamic that whatever the changes which are taking place in the jobs and the kind of jobs they are performing, that also will have to tune up with the education system, and therefore jobs which are in existence now probably will be vanished. And that is how the education system will have to be developed. And therefore, we always feel that Indian education taught us to hard work. But probably we feel that American education system taught us to think. And now we require both. You need that students should be able to do hard work as well as they should be able to think. And that too, we need creative thinking. How to develop that creative thinking itself is a challenge. And there you need knowledge of self-development on the basis of what you know. And that is what we are trying to do it through our education system. So what is national education policy? It's not just new education policy, it's a national education policy, because you find that though education is in the concurrent list, but guidelines are provided through this national education policy, and therefore it is new, but at the same time it is at the national level. So what is the overall vision and framework? See, this national education policy is in discussion because it is coming after a very, very long time gap. First national policy on education came in 1968. Kothari Commission the amount of expenditure which needs to be made on the higher education, primary education, that was suggested by Kothari Commission in 68, and prior to that actually report came. But unfortunately, whatever the target was set relating to the amount of expenditure which needs to be met on education, we have not yet fulfilled that target which was set in 60s. That is the condition. Second national policy on education in 1986, modified in 1992, and new draft of national education policy approved by cabinet last year, that came after 34 years. So I would say that education frame is ready, but it is not given yet the legal status, and therefore document reflects critical thinking, and people like us, those who are in education system, they must know what is there. So what is the salient features of NEP? I'll just quickly go through it. Right to education, it is extended to cover children between the age of 3 to 18 instead of 6 to 14. Why I am telling you? Because all the budgets, specifically the amount of money which is to be spent, how much, that we'll have to find out, because right to education means every individual citizen of the age of 3, she or he will get the right to education, not at the age of 6 now. So new education policy categorically pointed out that it's not 6 to 14, but we want right to education from 3rd years onward. Education for all by 2030. So we can imagine how much supply would be required in order to fulfill the demand of this education by 2030. New 10+2 system will be divided into 5+3+3+4 format. Now this 10+2 system will not be in existence. So prior to first standard 3 years, and first and second standard first 5 years foundation. So this 3 to 8 years will be the foundation period. Standard 3rd, 4th and 5th, that is what is called as primary school, 8 to 11 years. And standard 6th, 7th and 8th, traditionally we call it as middle school, year will be 11 to 14 years. And standard 9 to 12th secondary school and higher secondary, 14 to 18 years. That is how this 5+3+3+4 is divided. And these changes will be introduced by 2022. And along with that, special care is taken for the backward areas by announcing special educational zone. So earlier SEZ means it was special economic zone, but now in the national education policy, it is special educational zone, which is for backward areas, tribal areas and other things. So previous and new, you can just see the foundational blocks. So earlier it was 6 to 16. Now you find that it is for the 3 years, what is called as Anganwadi, preschool, Balwatika, then 2 years class 1 and 2. Like that, you have the new education system where you have 5+3+3+4 and not 10+2, which was earlier. So this is the significant change which is going to take place in the education system. So what is the broad aspects of national education policy? Now onwards, there will be no rigid formation of streams of arts, commerce, science in schools. So teaching up to at least grade 5 to be in mother tongue or in regional language, this was the kind of policy in the earlier document, but later on it is modified and it is stated wherever possible. So wherever possible up to grade 5, either you can teach in mother tongue or in regional language, but it is not made compulsory because of some problems with the southern states, and therefore the modified document indicated that wherever possible, try to have the teaching in regional or in mother tongue. Board exams across tests to test knowledge and not rote learning, and therefore the exam pattern is also going to be changed. IITs to become more multidisciplinary with arts and humanities. And since last 2 days, we are reading in the newspapers that how this physics, mathematics, that will not be required in order to take the admission in engineering colleges. So that steps is towards that kind of multidisciplinary approach. Of course, MPhil is to be discontinued. There will be no MPhil program after now. Then, considering this background, what we have to find out, what would be the supply and demand in education sector? So in next 10 years, 100% students will enter in secondary education system. Along with midday meal, breakfast will be served, and this may help to reduce dropout rate. So emphasize this particular aspect in the education policy, mainly because of the critical problems which children are facing relating to malnutrition. So along with the education system, that problem also government is trying to handle. Development of school complex by pooling infrastructure facilities. So those schools are having sports facilities, they can provide that facilities to the other schools, and that is how this pooling of resources is one of the major aspects of national education policy. NEP states that by 2035, there will be twice as many Indians in higher education institutions. So one can imagine how many higher education institutes would be required. But at the same time, every education institute in a higher education system which would come up, that education or the education institute, it will be degree awarding institute having full power, full autonomy to have their own curriculum. Today, 26% go to higher education. By 2035, 50% would be entering in higher education, and therefore supply of higher education needs to be increased because the target for GR is 50%. Today, GR is about 26%, and that is the change which is going to take place. So what kind of institutional framework is provided in the national education policy? NCERT will develop national curricular and pedagogical framework for early childhood care and education. Similarly, you can have state probably curriculum framework. So NCERT, on the lines of NCERT, there will be establishment of SCERT, and that can be established at the state level. So National Educational Technology Forum to be created for making use of technology. And then there will be institutional framework like PARAK. PARAK is performance assessment, review and analysis of knowledge for holistic development, that will be set up as a standard setting body. The major purpose of this holistic education is that we should not just give education to our head. Education needs to be given to the heart. Education needs to be given to the hand also. So heart, hand and heart, that needs to be trained, and then only it can be considered as the holistic education, and that is the basic aspect of national education policy. Of course, role of teachers, that is going to be the paramount importance, and therefore teachers need to be sensitive to the issue of students. Remedial cell, counseling cell, and creative activities are to be framed, but for that, teachers will have to be given full autonomy. Suppose they feel that instead of teaching in the class, I must take students to some factories, or I must show some carpentry work to the students so that they would be able to learn some skill. That kind of freedom, that kind of autonomy needs to be given to the teachers. Then only it would be possible to have the holistic development. Otherwise, it would be difficult. Good part is there is no compartmentalization and insularity in the system. So there is going to be multi-entry and multi-exit. So whenever you feel that that student, he is not in a position to continue, then we term them as dropout. That dropout concept probably will go away with this education system. How? I will come to that part. There is going to be academic bank of credit. And every university and college has to be multidisciplinary. Probably one can imagine that in the coming years, Sanskrit University will not remain as Sanskrit University. There will be something else apart from Sanskrit. Then only it would be multidisciplinary. Hindi University will not remain as Hindi University. Some additional subjects that will have to be considered, then only that universities will become multidisciplinary. There will be no distinction between curricular and extracurricular. So whatever the additional things which students are doing, that will be considered as a part of their regular curriculum activities. Suppose they are doing yoga, music, art, social work, skill, all these kinds of credits which they would be earning from performing this task, it will be deposited in the academic bank of credit. And that credit will be considered as a part of their regular mark list, which will be issued by the authorities, and that is the change which will take place. Now, this is the kind of thing relating to the credits which they would be earning. Now, what are the challenges in this national education policy? Basically, I feel that how to have the equity dimension of this education. Like we have Anganwadi, and we know the status of Anganwadi and vis-a-vis your nursery private schools, where there is a vast difference. When you talk about standardization, basically we have to find out how to bring standardization in the Anganwadi and this nursery schools. If you see the overall scenario in India, when you talk about education at the school level, people prefer private schools. When you talk about higher education, people prefer government. And this is happening, IITs and all that. So these are all government institutes. And therefore, the common belief is that school education means private and college education means government. And to bring this standardization, how to have this equity dimension and existing commercialization in the education system, how to take it out is the big challenge. And therefore, that requires some institutional approach. What we will do fine, how we will do it, that is, I think, needs to be considered. Now, National Education Policy has clearly pointed out that there should be spending on education 6% of GDP. And as I told you in the beginning, so far we have not achieved that target. At present, we are spending 3.5% maximum for the whole education, primary, secondary, tertiary, and higher, and everything. And therefore, achieving this target of 6% itself is going to be a big challenge. And I always feel that if at all we want that 6% of GDP needs to be spent, why not to make it a law? Like we have law for fiscal responsibility and budgetary management, which is called as FRBM Act, that your fiscal deficit should not cross beyond a certain limit. Let us have the law and decide that our spending on education, 6% of GDP has to be followed throughout. And once it is under the umbrella of legal framework, probably we would be able to achieve that target. Otherwise, it would be difficult. And therefore, how to tackle these government schools, private schools, state universities, private universities, that itself is going to be a big challenge when we talk about standardization of education, and that needs to be given due weightage. Let us try to find out what is GR and expenditure on higher education at the moment. Whatever the data is available, this is from directly National Education Policy document. India, China, Germany, and USA, you can make the comparison. GR is 23, 2014. Public investment, we are making 2.7%. Now it is about 3.5%, but it is hovering around 2.7, 3.5. China, 39.4%, 5% is the public investment. Germany, they are spending 5.5% with GR as 65%. USA 6% and 86% is GR. So this clearly shows that when you go on increasing your public investment, probably you would be able to achieve the higher gross enrollment ratio. And therefore, by and large, most of the countries, they are spending on higher education to the extent of 6%. And that is how the target of 6% is set in the National Education Policy. Now, what happens if you drop out? Let me tell you that our undergraduate program, which is in existence, which is of 3 years, now it is going to be 4 years undergraduate program. Suppose student drop out in the first year dropout, he will be getting certificate. 2 years dropout, he will be getting diploma. After 3 years dropout, he will be getting bachelor's degree. And after 4 years, he is entitled for research certificate along with the degree. And now you would realize that how MPhil will be discontinued, because it becomes redundant, because in 4th year, whatever the research program which was there in MPhil program, it will be now considered in your 4th year of undergraduation. And that is how after completing 4 years, student will be getting research certificate along with degree. First year dropout, whatever the credits which he has earned, he may come out of the college, may start earning. After earning, if he feels that no, I should go back to the college again, then whatever the credit he earned along with the other extracurricular activities, that credit will be considered for his second year's admission. This is how the academic credit bank will operate, and that credit will be deposited. Along with that, there will be different types of institutes and universities. Type 1 university is research university, where it is expected that 5,000 to 25,000 students will be admitted. There will be collaborative program, PhD, PG, professional courses. Those colleges, because every college is going to be university, so that university will declare themselves that we are going to be the research universities, which basically means that they are undertaking some kind of consultancies, they are doing research for some companies, they are doing research for some industrialists, and that is how they are earning certain additional amount of money along with government grants. They will be termed as research universities. Type 2, they are teaching universities. Their job is mainly teaching, but it doesn't mean that they are not allowed to conduct research. They will be conducting research in order to improve the teaching standards. Their job will not be probably to earn money out of that research activities. But in type 1 universities, it is expected that universities, they are earning out of the research activities which they are performing. Type 3 will be UG teaching college degree, where the admitted students number should be from 2,000 to 5,000 students. Less than that, that will not be considered as the college as per National Education Policy document. Graded autonomy will be given, and type 1 institution, it will have full autonomy for conducting research and for conducting classes, for conducting whatever the syllabus they want to frame, they are free to do it. New education policy has categorically stated that stop giving affiliation after 2021. In fact, 2020 December was the last date. After that, there will be no affiliation of the colleges. Colleges which are affiliated to the universities, after completion of 15 years, that affiliation colleges will become autonomous college after 15 years. And once they become autonomous, they will be entitled to become the university also. So what is the institutional framework for regulation? There is National Higher Education Regulatory Council, which is established by Finance Minister in this budget itself. For determining standards, General Education Council. For financial assistance, Higher Education Grant Commission. Instead of UGC, you will have now Higher Education Grant Commission. And for accreditation, NAC will be continued, that is National Accreditation Council. This is going to be, by and large, the institutional framework for people like us. Of course, there is going to be National Research Foundation, NRF. For that, in this budget also, provision is made. So it is already started. National Research Foundation, and the allotment for this NRF started in the last budget. Last budget, it was 5,000 crores. That is, now it is increased in this budget. But let me tell you what is this National Research Foundation. National Research Foundation will monitor the kind of research activities which are going in the country. At present, spending on research and innovation in India is 0.7% of GDP, and researcher per lakh population is 15. Then we got the information about total patent application, 45,000 something. So there it is realized that if you give focus on National Research Foundation, that would help to improve the research activities, and that would be useful for the overall development of the country. And therefore, budgetary provision is made in the union budget relating to National Research Foundation, and that is how that fund will be utilized for conducting researches in various universities. But to my mind, the existing research funding institutes like ICSSR, then UGC, all these institutes funding will be clubbed together under the framework of National Research Foundation. And National Research Foundation job is to find out that how the funding is made, mentoring, building the capacity for quality research in India, what are the key areas where researches are required, and that will be provided by National Research Foundation. Core research areas will be identified. And of course, science, technology, social science, arts, and humanities, these will be the divisions in order to provide funds from the National Research Foundation. Annual growth of rupees 20,000 crores, it is expected. It comes to 0.1% of GDP, not much, but already Finance Minister has allocated amount for this NRF. Total investment on research and innovation in India has declined from 0.84% of GDP in 2008 to 2.69% in 2014, and therefore it is realized that something needs to be done in order to improve this funding, and therefore for research facilities provision has to be made at least of 1% of GDP. That is the target. At present, as I said, it is even less than 0.1%. Now, in order to do that, what is the emphasis of the whole policy? That there has to be imagination. And for that, true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. And therefore, whatever the curriculum you are trying to develop, try to find out how imaginative ideas can be developed by those students. Storytelling, which was there in our school education earlier, let us revive that storytelling, because that storytelling will give them some kind of fascinating ideas, may not be in real, but that is what is required. So knowledge will teach you what is already been discovered. Imagination will give you everything that has not been discovered. Things may not be in existence, but you can go on imagining, because imagination ultimately leads to creativity, and creativity leads to innovation. And our focus is on innovation. Therefore, curriculum has to be developed in such a manner where there will be creativity, there will be some kind of innovative ideas. So imagination is ability to bring in mind things that are not in existence. जैसा हम पुराने जमाने में हमारे दादा परदादा स्टोरीज बताते थे, और स्टोरीज हमको ऐसा लगता था, बड़ा फैसिनेटिंग लगता था, वो रियलिटी में नहीं रहता था, बट एटलीस्ट इट यूज्ड टू डेवलप सम आइडियाज, and that is how the imagination helps to have the creativity. Putting your imagination to work can be considered as outcome, and that is an applied process. So putting idea into practice becomes innovation. So developing creative capacities represent the process of having original ideas that have value, and it is a process and not an event. And that should be continued over a period of time that is expected in the education system. Overall, you find that they are trying to bring some kind of organic framework where there should be some light, but at the same time there should be tight. So it's a light but tight kind of policy where there will be integrated, holistic, and flexibility. But principle needs to be followed that one size does not fit all. Depending on the situation and circumstances, you should be able to frame of your syllabus. So when you talk about standardization, it doesn't mean that for every region there will be standardized syllabus. Some standards will be set, but depending on the problems which that particular region, particular locality is facing, our education should be able to handle and address those issues also. And therefore, there is special educational zone, as I said, cluster school complexes, and it is expected that minimum one skill for each student to lead comfortable life. Now, the purpose of this, that students must know some skill that is introduced in order to, as I said, have that kind of organic growth. But along with that, like carpentry or any kind of activities which are going on in the society, students at the young age, they must give importance to all these activities. If they go and see how carpentry work is done, probably they will have some kind of respect for that kind of occupation also. So I feel that this kind of skill development is required. Not only that they should have that kind of skill, but at the same time, it must give opportunity to meet many people, and it should bring dignity of labor, and it will build respect of other profession also. At the moment you find that those who are doing carpentry work, probably we are not giving that kind of training to our children that that work is equally important. And therefore, when we talk about this kind of holistic development, there it is expected that learning of this skill, it doesn't mean that he should become carpenter. Many times people feel that we don't want that our children should become carpenter. At least learning that skill will help him to appreciate how critical and difficult that work also. And that is the probably the idea behind introducing this kind of vocational education system. How to do it again is a challenge. Probably in the timetable, at least 2 days in a week need to be assigned to take students to those carpenters or to show how actually they work in the hotels. Then only they would be able to learn. And that implementation part requires thorough thinking about bringing this as a part of regular curriculum. So you have internationalization of education also, but along with that, the kind of assessment suggested in the education policy is altogether different. Assessment will not be made alone by the teachers. Peer group, friends of that particular child, what they feel about that child, that they also will make the assessment. Parents, they will assess their wards, and therefore in management we call it as 360-degree assessment for industries. Similar kind of assessment process will be introduced for the school going children also, where assessment will not be made alone by the teachers, but it will be made by peer group, and that is how the education process will be considered. So to have creativity, it needs to recognize that education is the personal process and not standardized process. And goal of education is to fuel curiosity. And that curiosity, if it is developed, then there will be creativity, and creativity and education, they are correlated with each other. And that needs to be embedded in the education system. That is what this education policy believes, and that is how it is to be implemented. Of course, for this, as I said, reforms in existing legal regime will be required. So to convert standalone universities into multi-faculty and multidisciplinary universities will be the first task. Like certain universities, as I give the example of Sanskrit and others, they will have to convert their universities in the multidisciplinary, or even colleges, they will have to convert their colleges, arts, science, commerce, all streams, because we are talking about now interdisciplinary studies. And therefore, if there is no multidisciplinary college or university, then merger of these universities or converting them into multidisciplinary universities by repealing their governing legislation. And they will come together. That is what is expected in the national education policy. But the problem is that every individual college has its own land, has its own property, and how they are going to bring it, that also needs to be seen. So there are practical difficulties of having this kind of collaborations. But if they all agree, then I don't think it is difficult to have that kind of clustering where infrastructure at least will be shared by the other colleges. So each university will have to declare whether it is going to be research university or a teaching university. That also they will have to show it, and then only that university will be functioning. Determining structure of the university. In a purely research oriented university, probably there will not be required any kind of board of studies. There they would require board of research. Purely teaching university may not require bodies like board of research, and therefore these are the changes which are required to be made in the existing laws and the existing education system. For each university, skill component of the program needs to be accredited by some independent specialized agency. It's not just the curriculum which is now declared by the individual colleges, but what kind of additional skills you are providing, that also will be requiring some kind of assessment. So universities are to be used for increasing the GR. Same should not be used at the cost of the quality. So when you are improving GR, quality should not get deteriorated, and law relating to academic audit of the affiliated colleges is required to be further clarified in the process. So Education Service Commission probably would be required, and there is a need to establish, like you have Maharashtra Public Service Commission for government jobs recruitment. Similarly, we may need Education Service Commission, which shall have power to select teachers for the educational institutions. And the kind of problems which we are facing now for recruitment of teachers, probably it can be overcome only with the help of this kind of commission. So selection process should be made more rigorous and transparent one. Every university must have maximum autonomy to administer its affairs suitable to the local conditions. And of course, it requires comprehensive legal regime to establish, and whatever the University Act we have, that of course will have to be modified. So what is the financial implication of national education policy? Funding model over a period of time changed from state supporting mode to self-financing universities and colleges, and countries that are high in HDI spending, that is Human Development Index, those who are having that improvement, they are spending more than 5%. And therefore that 6% target set in the national education policy is welcoming move. Only thing is that one has to find out that how it will be followed. Another important thing is, at the moment you have philanthropists, but one philanthropist will not be adequate enough to cater to the needs of the society. Probably these philanthropists also will have to come together. Like you have Ashoka University, you have other kinds of private universities in South. It's not alone one particular Ajim Premji who has contributed, but we do not know how many other philanthropists are playing role, and therefore their role is equally important. At the same time, whatever they are doing, that won't be actually demonstrated, and therefore you find that their role will also be equally important. I am keeping watch on the time. I'm aware about the time. I'll take another 5 to 10 minutes and I'll then stop. Another important problem is a policy of fixing the fees. Government is trying to foster competition for funds within institutions, and fundamental point of this policy framework is competition. And they are allowed to have their courses because it is going to be autonomous. But at the same time, there has to be transparency, accreditation, score, upper limit of fees provision. All this will have to be regulated. And one of the important aspects is student loan, the way it is functioning now, probably will have to bring income contingent loan, where students will pay back only after they earn a particular level of income. Because for implementing all this, you need higher fees also. Otherwise, you may not be able to provide that kind of infrastructure, and that may require the kind of loan arrangement where students would be able to repay it back after they start earning. And for that, probably those financial institutions also will have to be developed in that manner. There is clear-cut implementation timelines provided. Attain universal foundational literacy and numeracy by 2025. That is the target given in the national education policy. Early childhood and education to be achieved by 2030, and teachers are to be prepared for assessment reforms by 2023. So 2 years are left. The kind of workshops which you are conducting, now it is to be conducted in an extensive manner in order to make people, teachers, parents aware. Parents' job is going to be equally important. When you talk about that students must see how carpenters and others work, probably you'll have to take parents into confidence, and you'll have to ask parents that you take your child to those carpentries, show them. So their role will also be equally important, and their empowerment is probably will have to be given proper priority in the whole process of implementing this curriculum. So implementation of NEP class 9th, 21, 22, it has to start. 22, 23 class 10th, that is how the time limit is set in the National Education Policy Framework. Almost the last point. In the system of education, the original term, it used to be over at the evaluation stage. So it was knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Now, what is expected in the new terminology? Remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. The whole emphasis is on creativity, and therefore, in order to have that creativity, a lot of changes will have to be brought in the education system, and that cannot be brought alone by the education institutes, by the management of the education institutes, but it is going to be the collective task of teachers, management, parents, and of course, those students also. Otherwise, it would be difficult to implement the whole process. So there requires engagement of children, engagement of teachers, and overall opportunities to build human beings. That is actually the objective of this education system. I think I should stop here, but if you have any question to ask, I would be happy to give some of the views of mine. But if you want to make your own observations, that also you are free to do it. I would be happy to listen to those observations also. I'm thankful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thanks to my friend Masram, Sampada Nasiri Madam, Bhagdikar Madam, all the coordinators of the program. I wish all the best for the teachers participants, and I'm sure they would be able to learn many important things from this particular faculty development program. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Participant, if you want to ask some question or share your things also, you can share with this. If anyone. So I think, sir, it was such a well-studied session. Participants are have no queries on
Madam?
this. So, yes, please.
Madam, can I have a question, madam?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Here, Dr. Seema Bodkhe from Government Arts and Science College, Aurangabad. I would like to have a sir's, Deshpande sir's view on the topic, how to change the focus of students from the degree orientation or the marks orientation to new policy, new education policy. Students are now in this phase, students are more oriented towards the marks and degree only. They are not oriented towards the knowledge. We have to change the focus of students, and how that will be implemented in new education policy.
Absolutely. Very good question. What is happening? And that's why I said that when we talk about empowerment of parents from that point of view is equally important. It's not important to find out what kind of certificate you have, but it is necessary to see what kind of knowledge and skill you possess. In number of universities, they hardly now bother about your certificates which you have. If you have basic degree, and if you are in a position to communicate effectively, if you have a particular level of skill, then probably these certificates may not be required. And that is how we have to train our teachers, students. every time, whenever such programs are conducted, it's experience of all of us. Why to hide certain things? We know that after attending this program, immediately teachers will ask for certificate. What is important to see is how much they have actually gained out of this program and whether there is really some kind of value addition or not. Of course, certificate is important to show your kind of evidence proof. But I feel that, as you have rightly pointed out, that there is a need to change the focus from this kind of acquiring certificate to value addition and to acquiring of skill and knowledge. Unfortunate part is, even we all know, we have attended so many and have delivered so many lectures for refresher course and orientation program. Experience is, out of 60, how many are really genuinely interested in refreshing their knowledge? That question needs to be asked now. Time has come to look back and to find out what actually we are doing. That's why I said in the beginning that we don't want to get accustomed to what changes are taking place. We want to become the change. And if we want to become the change, then probably this acquiring certificate, of course, that is important. I'm not denying that fact. But at the same time, we all must try to find out that we are spending such amount of time for this faculty development program. How much knowledge we are gaining really out of it? And if we are not getting it, then we should be bold enough to ask question and to say that, no, we are not getting what we want. And unless we bother for it, probably the kind of changes in the education system which we all are expecting, that we won't be able to do it. And therefore, it's not only parents first, they will have to empowered in that manner, that you are putting your son or daughter in some college, not for just securing degree, that is required, but try to find out that how in a proper manner, in a productive manner, this knowledge can be utilized. And therefore, what we have to find out, what we can do and what we cannot do, that I think needs to be specified. Then only, as I said in the beginning, if there is a passion, then you don't bother for degrees, you don't bother for certificate. Many people, you find that they are doing the work just out of passion. They are not bothered about how much they are earning. They are not bothered about what kind of certificates they are getting. I'm not against neglecting these aspects, but try to find out that how that passion can be generated, how we can become serious about whatever the profession we have chosen. And if we are serious about the profession, automatically everything will come. That is what I believe. And therefore, as you have rightly pointed out, you have to give importance, you have to give priority to this particular aspect. Let us start from ourselves. That when you attend some course, try to find out that what additional knowledge we are getting, whether there is value addition or not. Otherwise, all this activity becomes non-productive. If it has to become productive, then we have to find out. And if we feel that no, it's 2 o'clock, so no point in listening to the resource person now, you should be frank enough to tell, so that at least we can do something else. That is what I feel. I always tell my participants of this refresher and orientation program, it's very close to my heart, again, because I was associated with Academic Staff College for more than 6 years. So I know plight of participants at different stages. And therefore, it is necessary to see that how we can really add value, how to bring seriousness in this whole exercise of the education system. Thank you. Thank you, Simaji, for your good question.
Thank you, sir. Any one more question?
Thank you, sir.
Any question from participants? Sir, I have one question.
Go ahead,
one of the point you have mentioned, that is about early childhood care and education. So do you think in the present what scene we have everywhere we see the nursery schools and म्हणजे मराठीत गल्ली बोळामध्ये आहे. So do you think these people will understand what is the focus is given on the national education policy?
You're
and
right.
can we fulfill that?
What is happening at the moment?
Yeah.
In most of the houses, parents, they are working, both mother and father. And then it becomes difficult for them to find out how to look after that child. So obviously, by observing this, many private schools, they started this, I would say, business.
Yeah.
Because they have realized that we can give training to these children at a very early age. Observing these facts, it is realized that if these nursery schools or pre-nursery schools, they call it, if they are doing this kind of activity, why not to give in a formal manner the kind of training, and that training need not be in terms of learning words, in terms of learning mathematics, but the routine kind of activities like how to put the buttons, how to put it, how to cut certain things. If these small activities, if children are allowed to perform, probably they would be engaged at that particular level itself. And many studies have shown that early childhood education is the best part, where you need not bring pressure on them for learning some curriculum as such. Try to teach them some activities, but that activities needs to be done in a systematic and in a formal manner, so that that activity will become the foundation to learn further things. That need not be the actual curriculum related, that need not be the actual writing and doing some kind of mathematics. But even if they play, let that play bring them some kind of creativity, some kind of imagination, some kind of thinking, and that curiosity is always there at that particular age. This is what is realized, and therefore they thought that for these pre-nursery, you can see how much amount of money parents are spending, and if this activity is linked with the whole education system, probably you will get different kind of generation, and you will have different kind of curiosity and creativity for the children. And therefore, it need not be left to the individual private owners, but let government also participate in it. But as I said in the beginning, I'm looking that kind of challenge, that how you can have Anganwadi with this kind of toddler creed or other kinds of schools which are functioning. There you need adequate amount of infrastructure to be developed so that they will be at par. And then only you will find that it will start giving you result. So early childhood education, it is accepted worldwide that it is good and it should be provided. But that need not be the formal education, but you can give them some kind of basic training, some activity which is performed by all the individual. ऐसा होता है कि अभी इतना प्रॉब्लम होता है कि हाउ टू कट फ्रूट्स वी डोंट नो. एप्पल कैसा काटना ये नहीं मालूम. This is because there was no training for this. But right from the beginning, if you start giving it, probably people will be able to pick up, and that would help the overall development. So it should come in a natural manner. दुर्भाग्य की बात यह है कि नहीं आता है ना, काफी सारे लोगों को नहीं आता है. And therefore at least one skill you must possess. और ये पहले के जमाने में था और वो unknowingly आता था. अभी वो फॉर्मलाइज होने के कारण शायद बीच के पीरियड में वो नहीं हुआ. Now they are trying to bring it again so that students will be able to learn some basic activities, and that would be useful for them in a long run. And knowingly and unknowingly they will be able to learn it. That is actually the purpose of bringing this early childhood education.
Thank you very much. Participants, any questions? Anyone? Okay, sir. I think there are no questions. Thank you so much, Dr. Vinayak Deshpande, sir, for your well-studied session on new national education policy. Sir, when we had thought of organizing a session on this topic, the first name came into our mind was Dr. Vinayak Deshpande, sir.
Thank you so much.
And
Thank you.
yes, sir, and you made it, very true. So thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and guide us through virtual platform. Thank you for well-studied information on national education policy. At the end of this session, I invite Shri Amol Khanve sir from SN More College for formal vote of thanks. Shri Amol Khanve sir.
Thank you very much, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, all. Myself, Amol Khandwe, Assistant Professor, SN More College, Tumsar, Department of English. I'm here today to propose the formal vote of thanks in this 5-day FDP program on a need of innovation in curriculum and teaching learning process in higher education. Today we have with us Honorable Dr. Vinayak Deshpande sir, Professor, Department of Business Management, RTM, Nagpur University, who have thrown light on the national education policies, its issues and challenges, sir. It's really a thought-provoking, it's really a pondering session, which obviously made us ponder over our role, means the role of students from examinee to students, role of a teacher from employee to teacher, and the productive attitude towards our students. I'm very much, I extend my heartfelt gratitude. I'm very much thankful to you on behalf of the principal, Dr. Bhagadikar Madam, Mahila Mahavidyalaya, and on behalf of our principal, Honorable Dr. Masram Sir, Principal SN More College, and on behalf of the organizer, Nasiri Madam, Katekhai Madam, and I thank you very much for having this wonderful, insightful session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Amolji. Thank you so much. Wish you all the
Thank
best.
you, Amol sir. And with the consent of both the principals and Dr. Deshpande sir, I declare the session is over. We will meet tomorrow at 11 morning.
Thank you,
sir.
madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
बंद करायचं मॅडम.
हो हो.
Thank you, Dr. Vinayak sir. Thanks a lot.